It's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch.
Hey y'all, welcome and happy Friday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news, hot topics, and pop culture. So if that is a show for you, definitely stick around because we have a lot of tea to spill today. But before we get to the tea, if you please, excuse me, can do me a solid and hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash the notification bell if you're not a subscriber already. So that way, you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And so some of the topics we got going on today is not a lot going on, but I found some tea per usual to talk about. We got to talk about the Razzies. They gave out the Razzies. I almost forgot the Oscars was on Sunday. So the Razzies came out. We're going to get into who were the when. Do we call them winners or losers? I don't know, because if it's the worst, I would not consider that to be win. But anyway, so we're going to talk about that. Plus, we're going to talk about Gene Hackman's daughters breaking her silence over her father's death. We got to talk about this story going on. Another record mogul is being accused of sexual assault. So we got to talk about it. Kevin Liles, who used to work over there at Def Jam. We got to talk about him and who he was hanging out with, a former Def Jammer out in Bali over, for his birthday, while all of this stuff is going down in the United States of America. So we got to talk about that. Plus, we got to talk about the Diddler and his lawyer is claiming that Tony Buzbee improperly filed 22 lawsuits. We talked a little bit about it yesterday, but I got the story, so we'll talk about it today. Plus, we got to talk about this backlash from Justin Timberlake. Apparently, he went and canceled his show minutes before he was set to go live on stage, and when people were already there waiting to get inside the venue, and they were dragging him, they were going in on Jessica Biel. They flooded her her social media with a whole bunch of shade. So we got to get into that. And it literally was his last show for the first leg of his tour. So we're going to get into that. Plus, we got to talk about this update from Wendy Williams. Remember Suzanne? She's breaking her silence in regards of Wendy Williams. She said she spoke to her recently and giving everybody an update on like her cognitiveness and all that other stuff. So we'll get into that. Plus, I got an update on Tamika Scott because we talked a little bit about that yesterday and how I was trying to give the benefit of the doubt, but yeah, I knew my instincts was right, and some others. I think Roro was even saying that was some stuff too in regard to don't trust her no neck having behind. Well, guess what? Tamika done spoke out. So did Candy, and we're gonna give y'all the latest on, or the rundown, I should say, on that. Plus, Katy Perry is going through it. So the daughter of who's a reality star, the daughter of the guy that I guess they said sold her the house under false pretenses, is throwing shade at Katy Perry because she's denying her father his dying wish. We got to talk about Acacia Forgot, talking about her beef with Suzie too. Rebecca Black, who dropped her new EP Salvation today, is pitching herself to be a guest judge on RuPaul's Drag Race, and Pedro Pascal got time because in between him shooting on his damn movies and being one of the busiest people in Hollywood, he's throwing shade and reading the girls down to the floor on his social media who got problems with him supporting trans folks and their rights in this country. So we're gonna get into that and a whole lot more. And y'all know anything else that's going on in kind of breaking news, definitely let me know in the comments because when I'm doing the live show, I like to focus here rather than trying to get all discombobulated with everything else that's going on. Otherwise, I'll be getting all over the place. First of all, I'm getting pissed at this damn light. This ring light look like it's washing me out. Whatever. We just gonna have to roll with it because I can't sit up here and try to figure out how to adjust this light right now. It was given earlier, but now I look like I'm white in the face. I look like I got Arietti's makeup artist, but she all that white that be right here. It's her that do her own makeup. Anyway, hold on. Let me see if I can adjust her while we live and in color. Oh, wait. Ooh, no, I want to do I want to like that. Okay. Well, we're just going to have to do with this right now. That looks fine. Anyway, let me see who's in the comments. Ooh, Carl's in the building. How you doing? Ron is here. Sailor Mermaid. How you doing? How you doing? Magical Mermaids in the building. Not Crispies. You want to know something? That actually would be cute. I know we have I forgot. What did somebody say yesterday? Somebody. Loonies, Evolutionary, somebody, another. The Krispies sound funny. Because that's like Rice Krispies. Hello, Krispies. Like you said, happy Friday, gonna see Hard Eyes. Oh, you finally getting around to seeing it? Well, yeah, go out and support that movie. Because it was a good one. I'm hoping it gets a sequel. But anyway, let me hit my banner. And let's get into the first topic. Let's talk about these Razzies. So the Razzies came out today. which when the Razzies comes out, that usually because here's the thing, when the nominations comes out for the Razzies, we already know like within the next 24 hours we're getting the nominations for the Oscars. Then the Razzie Awards was given out, which makes you remember that okay, now the Oscars is going to be happening. Which I got the reminder. I was like, oh wait a minute, the Oscars is this weekend. I totally forgot. So the Oscars is on Sunday, but in the meantime, we have the Razzies, and it should come as no shocker that Madam Web and Joker Foley Adudu wound up getting a lot of the awards, as well as Megaflopolis. So the unlucky group of, should we call, I mean, if you're getting Razzies, which is the worst, are you a winner or a loser? I don't know. It says winners, but I'm like, okay, well, you won something because you were terrible at it. The irony of it all. But anyway, so the unlucky group includes Dakota Johnson, Jerry Seinfeld, John Voight, who, sidebar, I've never found Jerry Seinfeld funny. I do not see how people saw the appeal in Seinfeld, but if you like it, I love it. But I know a lot of people who apparently love that show. Me being not being one of them. But John Voight for 3 movies that he was in, but he's just a horrible human being to begin with. I know Angelina Jolie probably regrets that you were her sperm donor, but that's her daddy. You can't, unfortunately, we're dealt the parents that we're dealt. Amy Schumer, who I don't even know who keeps giving her roles, Netflix. I'm answering my own questions, by the way. And director Francis Ford Coppola. Now, Joker Foley Adudu won for worst prequel or remake. Worst. Joker was not a prequel or remake. It was an original idea, so I don't even understand the title for why it was included in a prequel. I mean, it's a sequel to an original idea based on a character that exists in the comics. So this title was terrible. But anyway, so then they also went for worst screen duo, which went to Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga. So while everybody throwing the jokes around that Lady Gaga out here always taking out the Madonna handbook. Look, y'all both got something in common. Now you're both Razzie winners. Now, one name stands out in the crowd, Jennifer Lopez, who was lucky to have lost for her performance in Atlas. Now, this year's winners will take home a $4, not $4.97. So the gold spray painted statuette costs $4.97. Now that's funny. According to a press release, the Razzies, which is officially called the Golden Raspberry Awards, is a parody award show honoring the worst of cinematic failures. And I love the fact that there's people out there. I forget who they said. I think Sylvester Stallone won the most. I think they said he won 12. And I love the fact that when Halle Berry won for Catwoman, and I know some of y'all like the movie Sailor Mermaid, but that movie was terrible. That movie was god awful. I did like Sharon Stone as the villain though, and I just like the overall campiness. But that was such a horrible movie. I love the fact that she was, a good sport about it and actually showed up at the Razzies to get her award. I wish other celebrities would take the stick out their ass and do the same thing. And think like, you know what? Stop taking yourselves so damn seriously. So the winners in the actor department, where I'll just read the winners because we don't need to go into like the nominations. Although Zachary Levi is in there with Harold and the Purple Crayon, so I am laughing at that. Now, for worst actor, it went to Jerry Seinfeld. Worst actress, it went to Dakota Johnson. So she beat out Kate Blanchett for Borderlands, Lady Gaga for Foley Adudu, Bryce Dallas Howard for Argyle. Argyle was terrible, and Jennifer Lopez for Atlas. Supporting actor went to John Voight for Megalopolis, Reagan, and Shadowland and Strangers. Supporting actors, the winner went to Amy Schumer for Unfrosted. Well, then next year, y'all need to give it to her for that fake pregnancy fakery movie that she has on Netflix, because I heard that was terrible too, and so was she. Now, director award went to Francis Ford Coppola for Megalopolis. Screen combo, the award went to Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga for Joker Foley Adudu. Prequel, remake, ripoff, or sequel went to Joker Foley Adudu. So they beat out The Crow, Craven the Hunter, Mufasa, The Lion King, and Rebel Moon 2, The Scargiver. Okay, now here's the thing. Mufasa was not that bad, so I don't know why they went and put that in the category. Now, The Crow, that movie was just blasphemous. Joker Foley Adudu, you couldn't even pay me to watch that crap. And as much as I love me some Aaron Taylor Johnson. I haven't seen Craven the Hunter, but I heard that movie wasn't that bad. So I need to see that to even know. But when I'm looking at the list, a lot of these are not a prequel, remake, ripoff, or a sequel. Majority of these movies, okay, Mufasa is a sequel to the Lion King of sorts, but it's a prequel of a sequel. So that one, y'all can put that in there. Rebel Moon 2, The Scar Giver, is a sequel to Rebel Moon, which was terrible. They're both terrible. And had the nerve to come out and give us a Snyder cut. We ain't asked for no damn Snyder cut. You could have gave us the original right to my it need to be PG-13. It's not going in the damn movies. So what do you need a PG-13 cut for? If it's going straight to Netflix. Like people just pop on Netflix and watch whatever. They don't need guardrails for that. So get off my line with that little stunt y'all try to pull. It's like ever since the incels started getting online and started doing releases of like all his other films, particularly Justice League, which we got that one and I didn't mind it. It was entertaining. And I like Zack Snyder, but for the most part, not everything he does needs a damn Snyder cut. Can we just y'all release movies as is and just give us what we need? We're adults. We can handle a little violence. But that movie was so terrible. I'm still mad that they focused on that and didn't give us any more of Zack Snyder's zombie universe, which I really hope that they decide to tackle down the road because I like that movie that he did, the one with Dave Bautista and all of them. I need more in that universe. Now, worst screenplay went to Madame Web, and that beat out Joker Folia Doo, Craven the Hunter, Megaflopolis, Reagan, and some other movie called You May Like, but I'm like, I never heard of that one. But anyway, so yeah, those are your losers. So congratulations to all the losers who won their awards. And we'll just have to wait till Monday when we come back and talk about who won the Oscars on Sunday. So I ask all of you, what do you think of this story? Do you agree with some of the winners or losers of these Razzies as these being the worst films and worst performances of 2024? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. um, it was. I actually liked that movie. I was like, you know what? I was not totally expecting what we got with that film. Like in the beginning and all that stuff, I'm glad that the way they shot that trailer, that they didn't reveal too much. Because then when they would go down into the gorge, I was like, I wasn't expecting all of this. And then the real twist behind how they got down there and what these people were doing, and Sigourney Weaver being the bitch that she was in that damn movie. So I was like, I'm kind of liking this universe. And I thought Anya Taylor, well, first of all, I like anything at this point that Anya Taylor-Joy is in. She's proven to be a chameleon. I like Miles Teller. I've always liked Miles. Well, it was a period where I didn't like Miles Teller, but I feel like now that he's older and he's not in those kid spaces anymore, he's actually matured, and I actually like seeing him. I was like, ooh. I was like, wow, but I was never looking at Miles Teller in a sexual way before until I saw him in that movie. And then there's a specific scene where he's naked. I was like, okay. All right, little man. Not that he's little, but you know what I'm saying. But I thoroughly like that film. I finally got around to watching it the other day, even though it's been out for like 2 weeks. So if you get a chance to check out The Gorge, definitely check it out. It's a good one. I was even thinking, I was like, you know what, that movie should have been in a theater. But then um I can see the reasoning why Apple TV Plus didn't put it in the movies. Like everything cannot get in a theater, unfortunately. And I hate certain snobs that go around saying like, "Well, if it doesn't go in the theater, then that means it's not great." Well, there's movies that get in the theater that are shit. Hello, Madam Web got that was crap. A lot of the movies we just talked about got a theatrical release. Megaflopolis got a theatrical release. Craven the Hunter got a theatrical release. Folia Doo got a theatrical release and flopped hard in its opening weekend and beyond. So what are you talking about? So this snobbery of movie pundits who like to go around and say that if a movie does not necessarily get in the theater, or if a movie is not released theatrically, then that basically means it's trash. I feel like that is an old dinosaur thought, because remember back in the day before there was social media and streaming and stuff, if a movie went straight to DVD, that kind of meant like, okay, this movie is crap, or whatever the case is. And there'll be some diamonds in the rough, like Tremors 2 Aftershocks. I love that freaking movie, and that never got a theatrical release. So every now and again, there are movies that kind of go straight to DVD or whatever the case is that aren't bad. I feel it's the same way for streaming. That does not necessarily mean they don't have hope in they've lost hope for this film, so that means it sucks. Let's just throw it on a streaming service. Maybe that's the way it is for Netflix, because Netflix is all about quantity versus quality. But in other places, there have been many of things I've seen on the streaming service that was great. Prey was never released in the theater. That fucking movie slaps. So some people need to kind of get off of that high horse with that. That irritates me. I love movies, but I ain't got time to be sitting up in the theater every damn week watching stuff. I got a life. There's a bunch of people outside gonna get your cat. What kind of cat you talking about? You talking about your cootie cat or an actual cat? Lady Gaga, yes, she did. Madonna and her have something in common. Don't tell me to go easy on the one-hit movie wonder. Sometimes fans take it personal. Oh, because she did A Star Is Born? Well, here's the thing I will say about this. Yeah, Lady Gaga, I think Lady Gaga just got hit by association. She was actually not the worst part of that movie. There was other parts. She was actually relatively decent in it. I just think people are just going to give her that straight because of who she is. But for the most part, um, she wasn't that bad in it from what I've seen. I did not sit and watch the whole movie, but I've seen parts. He said, "Leave my Catwoman on." No, you can't deny that movie isn't trash or is trash. Dakota is Melanie Griffith's daughter, and Tippi Hedren's yeah, I know. She's not a bad actress. She just ends up in shitty films. That's her problem. But hopefully she'll bounce back into something else. Yeah, I respect Halle for showing up for the Razzies. She was a good sport about it, and I wish more people was like that. I never saw that one though. I mean, I've seen it in my timeline on certain streaming services, but I've never actually sat down and watched that. Razzies can come from bad chemistry with actors or bad material, and basically that's the bottom line. It was the material. That's why the movie sucked. It's not necessarily you can't blame the actor's fault. Well, you could blame the casting people for the miscast. You could blame the script for being shit, and the fact that Sony doesn't take a lot of these certain movies seriously. It's like when you were trying to create this whole Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man being in it, what was the whole goal of that? You thought we were just going to show up because it's got special effects and cool stuff in it. It's like nobody know who the hell knows who Craven the Hunter is. Not a lot of people are familiar with him. Not many people know or care about Madam Web. Not many people care about Morbius. I mean, the closest that we knew was Venom, and they were able to cook something up with that. But even then, I hated all the Venom movies. I did not like any of them. I like Tom Hardy. That's my Virgo brother. But I like Tom Hardy and what he brought with that. But that movie looked like trash. Sidebar: there is a movie that's coming out called Havoc with Tom Hardy, where it's directed by the dude that did the Raid films. I cannot wait to see that. I'm like, if you give me some violence in that context, I'm here for it. Just like the guy that directed oh my god, he directed like these really good martial arts action films, and now I gotta go and remind myself because I totally forgot what his name is because I suck with names. As y'all know, many a times when I've been on this show, y'all had to remind me people names, but I have to describe them to y'all, and y'all know who I'm talking about. So this director by the name of what is his name? Timo Jahanto or Tajanto. He's a Thai director. He does a lot of action movies. He directed films like The Shadow Strays, which is really good. If you haven't seen that, check that out on Netflix. The Night Comes for Us. He also did Headshot, but he's also directing Nobody 2, which Sharon Stone is in, and I hope she's doing some action up in there too. So I'm hearing she's playing the villain. And I love the first Nobody. And that kind of plays in the whole John Wick type thing. But he's also directing Beekeeper too with Jason Statham, who I don't know why we don't throw shade at Jason Statham. Because Jason Statham pretty much plays the same character in every freaking movie, but we don't drag him for it. I think probably because he plays the same character in every movie, but the movies are always good. Versus Dwayne Johnson, who plays the same damn character in every movie, and then you look at the movies like, this is what you signed on for. You just clearly here for the check. So there's a little, and I think and he does these films on like these small budgets. Even when he did The Meg 2, that movie was stupid, but it made a lot of money overseas. So he's on to something. But yeah, so I I don't understand what the point of that was. I just kind of went. But anyway, let me finish these comments. The Joker sequel should have never been a musical. Well, I don't even. Well, to be honest, the I feel like if they were going to do this whole musical thing, it could have been like something that's in his head because he's crazy in the insane asylum. That whole premise would have worked. It's just the songs were terrible. What's his name? Tom Phillips didn't know I just think that they didn't, first of all, they didn't even want to make the movie. They were pressured by Warner Brothers because, oh, it's $1 billion film. There needs to be a sequel. I don't think there was ever any intention of making a sequel. But the fact of the matter was, Warner Brothers kept backing up the Brinks truck. They were just like, leave us alone. We don't want to do it. And then I guess they were going to be in the situation of, well, if you don't do it, we'll find someone who will. But I'm like, how you going to make a movie if Joaquin don't show up? So, I think they backed to the Brinks truck. They probably clean out like 3 banks to back it up in their house with like 3 trucks in each part of the mansion, his mansion and the director's. And they were just like, okay, well, since y'all just gonna throw money at us, we'll just we'll just take a bunch of shit, throw it at the wall, see what sticks, sell it to y'all, and the people saw through it. And now look at Warner Brothers out of money because y'all were just too damn greedy instead of just leaving it the hell alone. You said Hallie's Captain was one of my friend Vinny's favorite movies. I think, look, I'm not going to judge if a movie is bad. Look, one of my favorite movies is Showgirls. I love that damn movie. So we all have our guilty pleasures. Academy needs to understand that most movies get a streaming release and need to change their consideration, especially since Apple TV I heard is excellent. Yeah, they do. They have a lot of good movies and TV shows. Cattle Lake. I still haven't gotten around to watching that. That's with oh my god, what's his name? The one that plays Styles from Teen Wolf. I know he's in that. I like him. But I've been hearing things about that movie. I've heard mixed reviews though, but I need to just watch it myself and not listen to anybody else. I can't let you have nothing. None of the Madame webcasts were comic fans. Well, some people do it for the check. Or even if you want to take it for the check, can you keep it to yourself? Like, don't even tell us. Like, pretend you're a fan. That's like when I was watching them do that interview. Remember when Fantastic Four was first announced, and then they did, well, not announced, but like when they did the trailer, and then they had them do that little press conference with ABC. I think it was Good Morning America. And I'm sitting there watching this interview, and I'm seeing Joseph Quinn and all them talking. And I'm like, I do not believe y'all for 1 second that y'all like you was a Johnny Storm fan. Like, I don't know, for some reason he was not convincing me. I don't know if it was via satellite situation, a delay in the headphone or something going on. I don't know. I just didn't buy it when they were sitting up there. But we'll see if the movie's good. They need to hire boomers and Gen X for what? Oh, I don't know. I just feel like that if you have the talent to write a script, you should write a script. Now, Hollywood doesn't want to pay anybody. They want to use AI and stuff. And I don't mind AI. I feel like AI should be used as a tool. It should not be a crutch. Women starring in comic hero films has always been a struggle. I don't know if it's. Could it be that it's just that the people that are writing these scripts don't really know nothing about how to make women look good in an action movie or a comic book hero movie? There's always got to be zhuzhed up with the sex, so there's got to be campiness, or they got to do some kind of, Naomi Campbell walk as like shit is blowing up behind them, and it's like, okay, like this is so corny. Because I like watching women in action films and stuff. Like what was look, I'm looking forward to the old guard sequel that's coming out with Charlize Theron. I love that movie. So when she pops up and stuff, her movies are usually good action stuff. I love that other movie that she did where she played like what was it, a spy, a British spy. I couldn't find out she wasn't British because she lost that accent in the end of the movie. Well, look, I wish we would have got the Batgirl movie, but they, Warner Brothers wound up getting their little tax write-offs with that. We ain't never gonna see it. But anyway. All right, y'all. So let's move on. Let's talk about Gene Hackman. So we got a little more stuff on this situation. We talked about him passing away or his body being discovered, him, his wife, and one of the dogs. I believe they had like 3 dogs. 2 other dogs were alive. They said the door was ajar when people entered the home. They don't suspect any foul play. I remember I had some people in my comments saying that they believe that maybe it was carbon monoxide poisoning or something of that nature. we don't know. Hopefully, an autopsy and everything gets done and they could figure out what the situation was. And then there was some people that worked in the house that said they had been there in 2 weeks. So we had seen that we even talked about the fact that the bodies was mummified a little bit. And I think that happens because of the type of air that was up in Santa Fe when it gets cold. So the skin started to get a little mummified, which is the same look they used to do with the Egyptians back in the day. But actually they used to wrap the bodies back in the day. There was some real life mummification going on when it was like because of the temperature hitting the skin after, it's been cold. A cold body on cold air. So anyway, Gene Hackman's daughter apparently broke her silence and she spoke exclusively to the Daily Mail after his passing and said he was in very good physical condition despite his old age. And he was 95. Now, his wife, Betsy Arakawa, was also found dead. She was 63 years old, while law enforcement said they did not expect foul play. A search warrant called Hackman and Arakawa's death suspicious enough to warrant a further investigation. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. Now, Leslie told the Daily Mail there is no indication that there was any problem with Hackman's health prior to his death, which is why she can only speculate that a gas leak or carbon monoxide poisoning played a role, which is kind of like what we were talking about, because I was saying, like, there has to be some type of a gas situation, because if he was in perfect health and there's no signs and somebody came up and hit him upside the head with a hammer and knocked him out, and the wife and the dog, it had to be a gas leak type of situation. And where were the other two dogs if they didn't, suffer from the same ramification? So Leslie told the Daily Mail there's no indication there was any problem. And she said despite his age, he was in very good physical condition, and said that he did not have any major surgeries in the last few months before his death, saying he liked to do Pilates and yoga. I do yoga and Pilates, and the room is full of hotties, and I'm checking out the bodies because I'm satisfied. It always got to come back to Madonna, right? Whenever I see like a line or something. But anyway, she said he liked to do yogas and Pilates, and he was continuing to do that several times a week. So he was in good health. First of all, doing yoga and Pilates at 95, sir, he's that limber, okay? Now, given that Hackman was 95, Leslie is aware that it's not terribly shocking, but Arakawa's death at 63 poses more questions. She said the two had a wonderful marriage, adding, I give credit to his wife, Betsy, for keeping him alive. Now, Betsy took very, very good care of him and was always looking out for his health, so I'm appreciative of her for that, and it's very saddened by his passing. Or her passing. Now, Hackman and Arakawa's bodies were found by two maintenance workers. Arakawa was lying in the bathroom floor. A prescription pill bottle was open on the countertop with pills scattered nearby. Hackman was discovered in the mudroom adjacent to the kitchen with his sunglasses at his side. It appeared to law enforcement that both had fallen to the ground. A dead dog, was also found in the bathroom closet near Arakawa's body. The fire department and the gas company were called out to check the home for a natural gas leak, which could cause carbon monoxide poisoning. They did not detect anything, and there were no obvious signs of a gas leak, according to the search warrant. So that is the latest that we have on this right now. This is very sad. I mean, I get it. It's like, you know what? Gene lived a long, happy life. I'm still thinking that there's something a little suspicious that went on with the house. And it's just because there's no way in heck. I can understand if he just died of natural causes at 95. But two people and a dog dead in the house, it's just raising alarm. So I'm fingers crossed and hoping and praying that, they do what they need to do to make sure that, this case comes to a resolution. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to the latest and Gene Hackman's daughter speaking up on what had happened to her father and the speculations going on around that? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Even if it's retro, or maybe they could do an animated version of Batgirl. I would like to see them do that. All right. So now let's move on to our next topic, and let's talk about Kevin Liles, who was the latest industry mogul, music industry mogul, I should say, that is being accused of the R word of a former coworker or something employee, not a coworker, employee. They said that this occurred back in the 2000s. So, an anonymous Jane Doe plaintiff is suing Universal Music Group, Def Jam Records, and influential music exec Kevin Liles with claims Liles SA'd her while she was working at his executive assistant more than 20 years ago. In her lawsuit filed on Thursday morning in Manhattan, the woman claims that she was hired by the corporate defendants in 1999, with Liles acting as her supervisor. She alleges that between 2000 and 2002, Liles harassed her on numerous occasions. According to the lawsuit, Liles allegedly pressed his body against her breasts and grabbed her on the buttocks. The woman claims that in 2002, Liles made sexually inappropriate comments and advances that she rebuffed. Kevin Liles proceeded to physically force himself on top of Jane Doe, where he began to SA and ultimately R-word her, despite her continued protests. The 21-page lawsuit alleges the woman was able to file her decades-old claim using a special 2-year look-back window linked to a New York City law enacted in 2000. The law allows victims to sue individuals and related institutions over alleged gender-motivated violence. The window, which closes Saturday, has allowed plaintiffs to file lawsuits for claims that otherwise would have been too old in terms of the law statute of limitations. Now, a spokesperson for UMG did not immediately return a request for comment. This is Rolling Stone who's reporting this, by the way. But Liles denied the allegations, saying, "I absolutely deny the outrageous claims reported in the press this evening." This is what he said in a statement sent to Rolling Stone. "After nearly 40 years of service to our culture, I've intentionally built a reputation for doing things the right way, treating people the right way, and empowering women. It is a shameful reality that these lies spread so freely. My attorneys and I will fully clear my name, and when we are successful, this anonymous accuser and her attorney will face a defamation lawsuit and every other available legal consequence." Now, after his time as president of Def Jam, Liles, 57, went on to become co-founder and CEO of 300 Entertainment, a label whose artists include Young Thug, Gunna, Fetty Wap, and Mary J. Blige. Now, Liles, who previously testified in a court hearing in an attempt to get Young Thug released on bond during the rapper's RICO prosecution in Atlanta, announced he was stepping down from 300 Entertainment last September. Well, since we talking about stepping down in last September, do we need to bring up? See, now I've just been like, okay, we need to wait and see what, and we should still do that. However, Kevin Liles stepped down around the time that Diddy ended up in handcuffs down in the Brooklyn Detention Center. So suspiciousness in the situation. I don't know. Maybe we should start looking into that. Birds of a feather flock together. It's like, damn, I can't even talk. I was gonna say fly together. I mean, birds do fly, so we could say that. And then also, I just saw a video of him celebrating his birthday this week in Bali with Russell Simmons. Now, the funny part in this whole situation, when I first looked at this and I saw this floating online about an essay, I'm like, wait a minute, Russell Simmons got accused of something again? Clicked on it, I'm like, wait a minute, that's Kevin Liles. They look alike. Him and Russell Simmons look alike. So it kind of makes you wonder, was just like, this is a birds of a feather type situation. I don't put nothing past a lot of these moguls and stuff. And look, we got the diddler. Y'all was recently going after Jay-Z, but that's a whole nother situation. Then we got Kevin Liles is being accused of things. So there's always been people who were in the mogul space that we've been here, and recently Russell Simmons, like we've been hearing stuff about him. He flew to Bali, he ain't come back. He comes back and forth to the United States. And how come we ain't hearing about it? How come we haven't heard Russell Simmons been in New York handling business? You probably doing it via satellite, but we ain't seen you coming back and forth on the plane like he said a while ago when he was saying that, oh yeah, but I still be doing business. So if I was accused of anything, how come I still come in and out of the United States? I don't believe that not one bit. But they said the plaintiff behind the new lawsuit claims UMG and Def Jam should be held liable for her alleged abuse because they enabled, permitted, directed, controlled, approved, managed, operated, and ratified the manner in which Liles engaged with employees. She is asking for compensatory and punitive damages to be decided at trial. So is she saying that? So what I'm wondering is, because if you're saying that they enabled, permitted, directed, controlled, approved, managed, operated, and ratified what was going on, does this mean that there is record of you filing a report going against, oh, Kevin Liles is harassing me in the workforce. Because here's the thing that I've noticed a lot of times when it comes down to abuse and harassment in workplaces, it always seems like these people are supposed to be in place to protect you from what's going on in a workplace with an unruly coworker or an exec or whatever. And it always seems like these companies are never for the people that actually work there. They're always there to protect their bottom line. So I'm wondering if that's what that is. Because if you're saying that UMG and Universal were, they approved of all this and they were okay with it and they encouraged it, then I'm starting to think that they were aware of stuff that was going on at the job and they decided to look the other way because, like the same thing with the diddler, when you make these people money, they look past all of the shenanigans and all the other things that you're doing because all they care about is their bottom line, which is making money. So this is all I pretty much have on this story right now. So I'll definitely be keeping myself abreast of this story as it develops. But it's got me side-eyeing this whole thing. Like, I don't put nothing past these execs and all these other things that's been going on in the music industry. And I know people are probably gonna be like, well, why didn't you say nothing back then? The same reason why people didn't say anything about Diddy back then. When you come from a place of power and you're not someone who's in a powerful place, because that's what abuse and rate the R word and SA and all that other stuff is about. It's not about getting your rocks off, it's about having power and autonomy over other people and exploiting your position of power to have that control. That's what that is about. People really need to look at what the definition of SA is because it's like I have to continuously explain it ad nauseum. So I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this story? Do you believe it? Do you not believe it? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Mm-mm. I guess. I still need Oh, did I read that? It's like JD Bear trying to call out LaPoe. I'm so over him. First of all, is he? I didn't even know he was back in New York. I'm just like, I mean, in America. I was like, damn, why don't they send him on another mission overseas? Because we don't want to hear from him. We don't want to hear from him. I don't want to hear from Trump. I don't want to hear from Elon, ugly ass. I don't want to hear from none of these weirdos. But they all need to go away. Anyway, all right. So now let's move on and let's talk about the diddler, whose lawyers are trying to throw out a lot of these lawsuits and pretty much saying that I guess he didn't go through the proper channels um, to get all this stuff going on. So yeah, he said that his arch enemy, his legal arch enemy, I should say, Tony Buzbee, had no business filing lawsuits against him in at least one federal court, and he wants a judge to shut him down now. So now Diddy's legal team is staying on the offensive, and I was going to say offense, and has begun taking aim at Tony Buzbee. USA Today is reporting that Sean Combs' defense team filed a motion on Tuesday, February 25th, in response to Buzbee's attempt to represent a potential client in the Southern District of New York, even though he has been barred from practicing in the area. Now, Buzbee has all but declared war on Puffy, as the Houston-based lawyer has been behind numerous lawsuits for various unnamed alleged victims. Some of his clients' suits were announced through flashy press conferences where they flung accusations at Diddy of SA and trafficking them. So that's what y'all worried about, is the fact that he was doing like some flashy press conference. Isn't that what everything is all about now? Now it's all about, it's got to have like this WWE, UFC suit, like very much pomp and circumstance. Like, this is what everybody's doing. Welcome to Trump's America, because that's what something he ushered in, where he knew how to bring reality TV style shenanigans to a lot of what we do. So everybody looks at everything where it's literally a performance, pomp and circumstance. I mean, when you was out with your shiny suit, man, mess, and all that other stuff, you was doing the pomp and circumstance new. Now that you got this legalness coming against you, now you mad at how Tony Buzbee was putting on a stunt in a show. I just don't understand why that's more or less the entertaining aspect, and you not just focusing on the whole legality of it all. So now the Bad Boy Finance team brought up these egregious tactics and labeled them as misconduct for his pro-hack vice admission, practicing in an area that the lawyer isn't licensed to do so. Holmes's attorneys argue that Buzbee failed to disclose that he hadn't received permission to rep his slew of clients. The filing also mentioned an October 2024 suit from Buzbee, which accuses Jay-Z and Diddy of R-wording a 13-year-old girl in 2000 that was recently dismissed. Now, additionally, Combs' lawyers claim that Tony Buzbee hadn't even tried to seek out the judge's approval in these cases, while claiming that he broke New York's rules of professional conduct by asserting that the embattled mogul was guilty of the crimes without a fair trial. And this is what I've been saying for the longest. Y'all running around here saying, oh, he did it. Oh, he did it. First of all, we all know that when it comes to assault, it's that person's word against the actual perpetrator. So for people to go around and say, like, if you're not even in a courtroom where the judge and the jury is listening to what's going on and the jury hasn't decided guilty or not guilty, they're innocent until proven guilty, whether you want to believe it or not, of the person's character. It's like, I don't like the diddler. I think he is worse than Satan. However, he does deserve the right to a fair trial, and y'all should have waited. Or if you're going to file whatever you're going to file, make sure you got your I's dotted and your T's crossed, so that way when May comes around, when he actually goes to trial, you have all your stuff ready for this damn judge and jury. Instead of you getting all up in the pipeline because you got a microphone in front of you, and now you allowing your ego to secede your legality stuff. You've been, with your lawyer hat, putting the lawyer hat on and actually speaking like a damn attorney rather than trying to be a showman. Like, save the showman stuff, the showmanship for people like me. That's what we do. We sit up here and just entertain y'all for how long we entertain. Just get up there. You can be in, you can give the little personality or whatever, but also just, do your lawyer thing. Because of now, what's going to end up happening if this stuff passes through, what you've done was you screwed over these victims, alleged victims, who putting their trust in you to get them justice for what was done to them allegedly during the time that they encountered the diddler. So now you messed that up. So they said that Tony hadn't even wait, well, I'm gonna see where I am. It said, quote, in our collective decades of practice, Undersigned counsel have never opposed a pro-hack vice application, and we do not do so lightly here. This is what the filing reads. But Buzbee's egregious misconduct warrants denial of the privilege of appearing in this district. Now, for nearly 5 months, Buzbee has filed case after case in his district against Combs in the name of anonymous plaintiffs without seeking admission of any kind and without disclosing his lack of admission. Now, Diddy currently remains behind bars in Brooklyn, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So we already know. So, yeah, his trial starts on May 5th, and now we are February 28th. It's the last day of Black History Month before we go into March. So he's literally 2 months away, right? Yeah, yeah, 2 months away. We're 2 months away from him going to trial. And, the press and everybody be out there doing their thing. So, yeah, for now, we'll see how this all, what it does or what happened or whatever the case you want to call it. And then when we'll see if it goes through or not when it does. So I say all of this for you. What do you guys think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are on this situation, let me know in the comments down below. All right, y'all. Yeah, let's get into this Justin Timberlake story. So, yesterday was supposed to be the final night of the first. Well, I would say the end of the first leg, because I'm trying to figure out how to word it. The last night on the first leg of his current Forget Tomorrow World Tour. And I'm sure he liked to forget yesterday because the people was dragging his behind on social media and his wife, but we're going to get into both of those in a second, for not showing up. Well, he said he was there. He did the sound check. And literally, it was like, I believe, so, depending on who you ask, some people said it was 30 minutes. There's some people saying 15. Then there's some people saying it was like 5 minutes or whatever, that he decided to put out a statement saying, I can't do it because I got the flu. And what people need to realize with this, because I understand, like, I feel you if you got the flu, whatever the case. If you sick, you sick. It happens. And there's a nasty flu going around. And trust and believe, with this current administration, there's flu, there's a measles, they got all kinds of other viruses that ain't been given a name yet that's starting to make their way into America. And then you got that moron, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. handling our health system. We all doomed. So I can imagine that, with him in this situation, if he's sick, you don't want to bring that into an arena where you can get everybody sick. Because I tell you, when I went to go see Adanta during her celebration tour, I almost said confessions. When I went to see her in her celebration tour, I came back sick. Like I was fine when I was there. Then all of a sudden, during like the third act, like what was like the last 30 minutes of her tour, I started feeling a little weird. And then the next day, I realized I wound up getting sick. So you never know when you're in these little petri dish surrounded by all these people that you don't want to risk getting somebody sick. And then remember that time when Lady Gaga revealed last year. I don't know what it was for. It was probably I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember what it was for. But she went and admitted that she was on stage performing her Chromatica ball with freaking COVID. And I'm surprised people didn't read her down to the floor. I think there was a couple of people that dragged her over it. But you sitting there putting your dancers, your band, your background singers, your crew, you're putting and the little monsters, you putting all of them at risk for this. So I could definitely understand why it would be like for Justin, yeah, I'm not going to show up. However, when I started reading some things about Mr. Justin Randall Timberlake, then I'm like, you low down bastard. So apparently what had happened was Justin canceled, the final show of his U.S. tour in Columbus, Ohio, nationwide arena on Thursday on short notice, claiming he was ill and leaving fans holding tickets fuming, saying, you guys, I'm heartbroken. I have to cancel the show tonight. This is what the 10-time Grammy winner, 44, because he just turned 44 in January, said Thursday in a statement on Instagram. 4 months after he canceled his October 23rd concert at the same venue amid a bout with laryngitis and bronchitis. So this is not the first time. This is actually a rescheduled concert that he was supposed to perform in the same venue last night and ended up canceling again. This is why people are pissed. And not only that, they're pissed because he told them literally while they were standing outside waiting to get in the spot, get in the arena. So the sexy back singer added, I went into sound check battling the flu and now it's gotten the best of me. It kills me to disappoint you and my team who worked so hard to make this show happen. I want to reassure you, you'll be getting refunds for your tickets. I love you all. Because I said, I know you're not going to say you're going to be scheduling again. Because fool me once, shame on you. Fool me once, you a dumbass bitch, is what I like to say. Because you're not going to get me twice. Not at the same damn venue, and I show up, and now you want to cancel again. So Justin's reps were reached out for further comment on the story. They didn't say anything. Now, a number of fans were critical of the music artist for waiting so late to call off the show, with one saying, canceling because of being sick is 100% understandable. Canceling 10 minutes before the doors were to open is unacceptable. Another added the show was canceled at 7:30 and the show was supposed to start at 8 o'clock. I'm sorry if you have the flu. You would have known a half hour before the show starts. There were little kids standing in line that were devastated that you canceled. Shame on you. And I hate when people try to weaponize the kids, but I totally understand. I mean, when you making songs like Can't Stop the Feeling for the Troll soundtrack, I can definitely see why people bringing their damn kids to see him. But no shade. Or maybe it is a little shade. I don't know why I always say no shade before I throw it. But Justin Timberlake is so vanilla to me. Like, y'all be trying to prop him up like he is Usher, Chris Brown level of talent. I'm just like, okay, yeah. First of all, you ain't that great of a dancer, and yeah, you jump up there with your little guitar and you be playing your songs, whatever, like you Chris Stapleton. But outside of that, I'm just like, Justin is so boring to me. His songs is okay. Like, I was never like a really big fan of his. Like, I did like Bob's. Like, Future Sex Love Sounds. That is a solid record. I like a couple of songs off Justified. And there's some cute songs off of the 2020 Experience, but I was never feeling him like that. So I never saw the big old appeal. I guess, he had that little X factor, but when you serve in mediocrity, white mediocrity, you already know what MTV is going to give. So they're going to prop him up. He lucky he came up in the MTV era. Quiet as it's kept, I would say if there was anybody that was way more talented than him, I would say Justin Bieber. But anyway, that's just me. Now, Another fan said, could you have told fans sooner than 12 minutes before the show starts? One fan posted Timberlake's infamous prediction back to him in the thread, writing, this is going to ruin the tour. I cannot with y'all. Now, one user under the handle Astro_Kiana came to his defense, saying that people should be more understanding as these things happen to everyone, famous or not. Now, for all you weirdos in the comments getting mad at him, understand that these decisions are not made lightly, and he was clearly trying to figure things out before canceling, said the user who is named Kiana. I'm like, when y'all put that in there, were y'all trying to read her because her name was Kiana? Then she went and added, it's not as simple as moving it to another date when there are contracts and venue obligations that have to be considered first. Use your brains. Well, clearly she got short-term memory because this was moved to another date. This is the moved date that he was supposed to perform, and he canceled again. So what is she talking about? Then he also said, we've all dealt with cancellations before, and sometimes there's nothing that can be done. That's life. Being rude to Justin doesn't solve anything at this moment. Then one devoted fan who traveled across the country to take in the event reassured Timberlake that he made the right decision in looking out for his health. Saying, I flew in from California, but you know what? Your health comes first. True fans know that. Love you, feel better. Wow, whatever. Now, another user said, on dang, I'm so sorry for you and your fans who had tickets. So a lot of people in here are giving like their kudos, whatever. So, we like to point out both sides. I don't want to just come in and do the dragging, although it is fairly entertaining to do that. And I'm just going to sit up in here and windmill and leave it all one-sided. Now, that ain't the only thing, because Daily Mail, y'all threw some shade in this post, in this article. So let's get into that. So they said, for years, the singer reigned supreme as the undisputed prince of pop, but as he closes out the U.S. dates of his world tour with lackluster sales and even worse reviews, it seems his career is at a crossroads. So Timberlake on Thursday had been to play the final date on the Trek in Columbus, as tickets throughout the venue remained available the day of the show. So they were saying there was a multitude of things. And why did it sound familiar? Because didn't we talk about this with Drake yesterday when he went and canceled them dates over in New Zealand and Australia, that they were saying that the tickets weren't ticketing, and the fact that he was out drinking the night before, which somebody in the comments over on another website I was reading basically said that he was spotted out at a couple of bars in Ohio. So Justin back on his shit again with the drinking. That's what it's given. But I'm gonna get to that post in a second. I just want to go through everything else just to give y'all, a little clarity. So now the former NSYNC lead singer who turned 44 last month advertised the concert on his Instagram stories. He put it on his IG stories, say, oh, I can't wait to perform for y'all. Jessica Biel, his wife, did it too, hence why they dragged her ass in the comments too. So her page got flooded with a lot of hateration and holleration in her dancery. So he also shared a sequence in which he was standing on stage in front of thousands of cheering fans with the caption, last show tomorrow. Now, I do have that photo. Hold on. Let me scroll to it because I got a lot of stuff in here. Okay, so this right here is his, you guys, I'm heartbroken. Hey, you guys. He gave that. So I want to give y'all a second to see that. Then let's scroll on. These are all the comments. Oh, yeah, this is the venue where there was some other tickets. First of all, them tickets is not bad. Like, they still in the 200s. $97. That is like in the 100s, 129.50. Section 101, row X, 120. Yeah, them tickets is not bad compared to other people where y'all be out here charging 4,000 damn dollars. So yeah, this is the picture that he posted with the people in the arena, and then he's like showing last show tomorrow. So he was ready to get up in there. So they said as the U.S. leg of the Forget Tomorrow World Tour was supposed to wrap up, the Trek was hindered with disappointing ticket sales, questionable creative decisions, and mediocre reviews, amplified by an embarrassing scandal in which Timberlake predicted danger on the horizon in regards to the tour. Well, he did say this is going to ruin the tour, right? So Timberlake's show on Monday at the Xcel Energy Center in St. Paul, Minnesota was roundly panned by the Minnesota Star Tribune's John Breen. The veteran music critic and reporter criticized the pop superstar for selecting a concert playlist that had too many new tracks fans were unfamiliar with instead of the pop staples they purchased tickets to see him perform. The Memphis, Tennessee native performed 11 songs from his 2024 album, Everything I Thought It Was, even though hardly anyone bought or even cared about the album. This is what he wrote, the critic. Timberlake took to the stage Monday in front of 11,000 fans at Xcel Energy Center, which, sidebar, I need to point out, it was only 11,000, but guess how many that place houses? 20K. So 20,000, it's the same thing with Madison Square Garden. Our cap number is 20,000. Normally we'll put up out in the thing, oh yeah, it's sold out. If you see like 19.6 or something like that, we can push for that. But for the most part, 20,000 is the capacity. Now, Timberlake took to the stage Monday in front of, as I said, 11,000 fans. They said the show was a makeup for a concert Timberlake canceled last fall amid a bout with bronchitis and laryngitis. The superstar singer apparently was still lethargic, as Timberlake neglected to take part in one of his concert traditions, standing on the edge of a tilted floating monolith attached by a harness, as he has done in dozens of other cities as an encore. Oh, so they said that part was even taken out. Well, look, wasn't that the part where y'all was making fun of the fact that he lacked a bulge in his crotch area? Because remember when y'all zoomed it? Well, we zoomed in on that. I say y'all, but I zoomed too, Chad. And look, there was nothing there. It was like he can't work the middle because his thing too little. But maybe Jessica don't care about all that. She just loves her some Justin. So then they said that fans on Facebook also echoed similar sentiments about the performance falling short without the monolith sequence. One noted that Timberlake spent quite a bit of time on a second stage at the back of the arena and finished out the show back there, so lost a little luster for anyone toward the front. And Timberlake also neglected to mention his wife Jessica Biel, who shares sons Silas and Phineas with, or her ties to the land of 10,000 lakes, as she is a native of Ellie Breen added. Oh, so she's from Minnesota? Well, damn, I would have said that. But I guess maybe he don't care about her enough. Maybe I think she loved him more than he loved her or himself. Now, Timberlake was able to salvage the concert with his natural showmanship, deft musicianship, and contagious energy. And I think that's what it is, too. You know what? Even though I said, like, I never found him entertainment, he is a good showman. Not on the level of, as I said, Usher. But nevertheless, he can be charming. I mean, he's been able to charm half of y'all heifers for as long as he's been famous, over 2 decades, even though he's been categorized as a bona fide a-hole by a lot of people, especially what he's done to Britney and Janet and all the other things that he's done to step over people to get to where he is in his career. So then they did say that in addition to him performing songs nobody knew, which I'm like, sir, you are not Madonna. You are not Madonna, girl, in the words of Michelle Visage. Remember when she said that on Johnny McGovern's show, Hey Queen? Like, you are not Madonna, girl. And they went to turn that into a song. So it was like, yeah, you're not Madonna. Or I forget where she said that at. It might have been there, but it might have been somewhere else. But anyway, so it's like, yeah, you're not Madonna. You can't just go up in there and do a whole show where you bringing up songs that nobody ever heard of. But the thing with Madonna is how she makes it work for her fans and why her fans eat it up and don't complain that much about the fact that she doesn't perform all the hits, where she'll perform more songs that were not single cuts or hits, and she'll turn it into a thing, is because she combines a lot of the songs into telling a story, performance art, that sort of thing. Justin is not that type of artist. He's someone who just, I'm going to perform the songs, I'm going to strum my guitar or dance or do whatever. Like, you get up there, you do a regular show. It's not like an experience like when you go to a Madonna show. So that's why I think maybe the fans, when they were watching the concert, they were bored. Because it's like, I don't know this song. We ain't like that out. We ain't purchased it. We don't know the words. You can't expect us to sit up in here and sing this song. But I can tell you, I know the song, all the words, the sexy back. I know all the songs, the Cry Me a River. I know all the song, the lyrics to Mirrors. I know all the lyrics to Can't Stop the Feeling. But I don't know these other songs on this record that you trying to make fetch happen. So now they said, following the show in Minnesota, he thanked the collaborators for their efforts in the nationwide tour and opposed to his 72.1 million followers. But to get to the last point, because it's too much going on up in here, and I'm like, okay, so let's get to the Jessica Biel part, because this is where they was reading her. For jumping in and giving commentary about something when it's like maybe you and your husband was not on the same page in regards of you sitting over there and talking about, oh yeah, he's gonna be there tonight and doing all this other stuff. So the fans decided to go in and let have on her because she went and posted in her Instagram a gushy post about him preparing to wrap up the U.S. leg of his Forget Tomorrow World Tour, where she basically said, there's truly nothing this man can't do. This is what she said in a video montage showing Timberlake performing on stage throughout the tour as she danced in the audience. It's been so special to watch you, listen to you, and be alongside you for this tour. One last show tonight. Give it all you got. I am the proudest. Now, if you are hunching somebody whenever y'all can get it in, right? And y'all got kids and you married and y'all supposed to be a unified front. At what point do you know when your man or vice versa is under the weather? Just wondering. Because I would think if y'all in the same household, if you've been following him on this touring journey, wouldn't you know if your man is sick? But guess what? So there was somebody that posted on social media by the name of Megan Bidinger, I think is how you say her name. She said in the comments, because she said she was there, she said he didn't cancel hours before. It was literally 15 minutes before he was set to go on. Tons of people were standing in line to get in, me included. And the arena staff came through and said concert was canceled due to him having the flu and not being able to make it through sound check. Also, he was seen out in Columbus at a couple of local bars the night before, confirmed by owners of bars and surrounding restaurants. So take that as you will. So it looks like, based off of what Miss Mama said, Justin back on his bullshit. So you out here doing the same thing that Drake apparently did the night before when he showed up late to his sound check and then decided to cancel the rest of the tour at the last minute. That Anna Wintour mess thing that he got going on. Apparently he a butch queen calling herself the Anna Wintour tour or whatever the hell he's calling it. So now you over here doing the same thing. Y'all going out partying like a rock star when you literally just got in trouble in New York for doing the same damn thing where your license was suspended. And now you back on the mess again. You supposed to be focusing on your obligation. And I'm not trying to say as a grown man, y'all can't be out drinking and party, whatever. But if you got to be responsible and you got to do a show, if that's the excuse, if that's the reason on why you couldn't show up because you had a hangover, because you got an alleged alcohol addiction that you still haven't dealt with, and your wife up here like not having the communication that y'all should have been on a united front for you to kind of go along with the thing. Oh yeah, he got the flu. Apparently she ain't get the memo. You talking about you sick. Yeah, you sick from all that damn liquor you was allegedly putting in your body. Allegedly. You know, I'm trying to say alleged. Because I'm like, you're not going to get me. But here's the thing. If y'all care, he is set to, I believe, go on another tour. He's supposed to do a series of festivals, and then he's going to come back and do the second leg. I don't know where. I think it's going to be overseas. But they also said that he's supposed to do 20 more shows over a 4-month span. So he's supposed to be doing a bunch of festival circuits where on March 25th, he's supposed to be at Lollapalooza, Argentina, 2025, and at the Hypodromo, de San Isidro. So that's what he's supposed to be doing. But he's supposed to be doing a couple of shows. So he's going to be doing a festival circuit. And then he's supposed to wrap up that leg of the tour with a July 20th show in Paris. And I believe that's pretty much it. So, yeah, that's basically all I got on that right now. But I just wanted to point that out to y'all. That this is what the people are saying. They're on two, and apparently him and Jessica are on two different planes. So, and then another person said, you know what, at this point, Justin, the only way you're going to be able to recover and clean up your act, you might as well go and reboot this whole, or relook at this whole NSYNC idea. A lot of your middle-aged fans, and Lord, I hate to say it, but yeah, as someone who was also in their 40s, I guess I'm middle-aged. The fans want you to go on tour with NSYNC, and I think that's what y'all need to do at this point. I think y'all need to get back in the studio, make an album similar to New Kids on the Block, because they got an album. I don't know if it came out already, but I know that, and then they're supposed to do like a residency or whatever the case is. I think at this point, NSYNC need to get back in the studio, give us some of them ballads, give us some of those pop songs, some dance tracks, then some of that Europop stuff, and go on a tour. If NSYNC did an arena tour and then they bring out somebody else, I don't know who, from the 90s and the 2000s, they could have them come on that being like an opening act, and then they come out and they do their songs. I think it would be lit. A lot of the middle-aged people and their kids will definitely go to that show, and you probably can get back in the good graces of the people because they tired of you as a solo artist playing your little shenanigans and you pissing them off. So that's what I would say at this point. Just revisit the whole instinct thing, even though you like dangling that carrot in our face and keeping us, you know, still be like, please give us this tour. And then you like playing it off because you thinking that you Beyonce. And you not. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, I want to hear from you all. So let me know in the comments down below. And of course, we have comments. um, well, I don't know if it was necessarily Zelensky throwing a tantrum because, first of all, wasn't JD Vance and Trump starting a mess too? I'm so over all these terrorists in these damn, suits. Him, Trump, and all these morons. Justin is so boring. OMFG. Only thing he could do for me is door unlock. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't do a couple of that to get to where he is career wise, allegedly. Maybe Justin couldn't stop drinking and part. Not Tina. I know a girl named Tina, and Tina was always done. Not the hateration, holleration, and the dancery. I had to throw a Mary J reference up in there. A friend of mine rented a hotel room and drove 3 hours with his little sister. He said he done with. Well, I'm glad y'all finally waking up. That's crazy. I'm like, there was somebody also because I didn't read all of the comments, but I think y'all got the gist of it when I was reading the comments. Because even when I said Jessica Biel got dragged in the comments too, I'm sure y'all got the gist. But um, there was one person that said, yeah, they drove an hour and got and then had walked over and all this other stuff, and then that happened. So it's like I could understand if you put it out maybe a couple of like an hour or something before, but like I can't do it, I have to cancel. But he didn't even do that. The venue people had to tell literally at the last second. But y'all have been pissed. So a venue can call an event sold out even if there are they do it all the time. That's all I'm saying on that. Do I believe sickness? No. Do I believe marital woes is happening? Because we've been hearing stories of trouble in paradise. Look, Mary Camden, she went after that man while he was with Cameron Diaz. So ain't no poor Mary Camden over here. She got exactly what she wanted, or is getting exactly what she wanted. I think people are just, well, look, you and me both. I'm tired of him too. Not the clouds. Somebody hit me up on the good old grinder talking about do I party? I was like, ew, no. I have hundreds of people on Tina, and I was like, nope, never again. So if you ever slide up in my DMs with that foolishness, you are getting blocked. I don't do that nastiness. And I don't understand why people got to be sucking on a glass peen in order to get off. And y'all don't be in the best mindset when y'all on that stuff anyway. Would still hit the timber bus. Roro, that's Live Nation for you. It has to be a certain number till Live Nation declares sold out. Yeah, that's what I always thought about. They were like 11K, and we be saying like that's that ain't good. That's not a good number. 11K out of 20. But then again, like when you do tour, whatever, unless it's like a 360, which means like, okay, like a Billy Joel, somebody was like they have a stage which is like round, and then every part of it is open, the back and all the other sides. Kind of like when you watch a Knicks and the Rangers, it's 360. I could understand like that that's the case, but then usually when a lot of concerts they have like the back part where they have that blocked off because that's where the stage is and the black curtain and all the technical stuff. So I can totally understand if y'all do that and you have it black cut off. But 11, that's bad. I can understand if you said like 15, 16, then I'm like, okay, that's not so bad. But 11,000. But then we saw them prices. The prices wasn't bad on there. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't pay. I mean, if I was a Justin Timberlake fan, I would not scoff at 125,000. I mean, 125,000, $125 on a ticket, especially if it's like in the 100s. I do wonder how much the front row seats were. But anyway, all right, y'all. So, where we going? Let's move on and let's talk about Wendy Williams. How you doing? So Wendy's back in the news. And yeah, we haven't heard from her in a while. I heard that she fired her recent attorney and now she's looking for a new one. Because I guess that things just wasn't working out. There was another, I forget whose show that she had mentioned on. It was some black woman that she wound up hiring that she can't remember her name or something or another, but she was like, she had fired her. So I guess that she's back to square one in regards of trying to get out of this guardianship. But you know, one of the things that I've heard is that, or been thinking about since, you know, Wendy Williams took her final bow for the show, sans its host in 2022, many have been wondering whatever happened to producer Suzanne Bass, who was a right-hand woman throughout the show's run. Also, I would say people have been wondering what happened to Norman, but you could go on his social media and see what he up to. Sidebar: Funky Dineva recently released a reveal on his show that he's working on doing a talk show out of his home, similar to like T.S. Madison, and that's something I plan on wanting to do. Not wanting to, I am going to do it down the road, one of these days in a couple of years or whatever. That I'm gonna just self-produce and self-finance my own talk show or whatever the case was or is. Get the equipment, have the people come in and do the construction to set up the set and all the other stuff, and just do it out of my house because I'm not gonna sit around waiting for the industry or the networks and all those other stuff to all of a sudden see my talent and give me an opportunity. If you build it, they will come. I truly believe that. Field of Dreams. If you haven't seen that movie, definitely check it out. But for the most part, Tony doesn't even mention that he got a producer from the Wendy Williams show that's going to be working on his show. So I was like, I wonder if it's Norman. So that's what made me thinking about that. But anyway, so Suzanne recently, you know, went on her Instagram and started spilling some tea, talking about that she had spoken to Wendy. And then it was an emotional conversation. They both broke down in tears. And she said Wendy sounded fantastic. And she's all for free Wendy and this whole movement. Now, I do have the clip courtesy of the neighborhood. Well, not the neighborhood talk. It was Jasmine Brand. And I definitely want to play that for y'all to hear what Suzanne. I love me some Suzanne. Suzanne was a cackle when I would watch that damn show. And how Wendy Williams would always be reading her and stuff. And she just go along with it. But hold on. So, or as I like to say, please hold.
You guys have been asking me for years if I've heard from Wendy and what I'm doing to help Wendy. And I'm going to be honest, I hadn't heard from Wendy in years until last week. My phone rang. And it was Wendy. I cried. She cried. Brendan cried. Jack was home, my oldest. He didn't cry, but he said hi to her. She sounds fantastic. She sounds the best she has sounded in years. And I've been learning every day since then more and more about her story, what she's been through, what she's going through, this horrible guardianship she's in. It is horrible and it's terrifying. And so hashtag free Wendy all the way, all day. And she really just needs our love and support. Just send prayers to her. Thanks. You guys have been asking me for years.
Okay, so yeah, so I was like glad to hear from the one and only Suzanne in regards to that. I was like, let me try to pull up the comments and see what the people were saying. Somebody said, well, what does Norman have to say? Well, look, Suzanne is not Norman's keeper. And when Norman, or as she used to call Nortman, is ready to come out and say what he got to say, then he'll say it. Or maybe he hasn't spoken to her. You know, some people was like, oh, Suzanne, I missed the Wendy show along with the crew. Another one said, missed the crew, the only crew we knew on TV. Because Wendy always would put some of her crew in the spotlight, which I thought made the show even more entertaining. It's like, I'm going to just make, and the one thing about Wendy that I always liked that she was able to do that other people weren't able to do is that, okay, so I can't get, you know, a Tom Cruise or a Beyonce, even though Wendy has interviewed Beyonce in the past, I can't get these big A-listers to show up on my show because they're all scared to come on because they think I'm going to say something shady. And 9 times out of 10, she will. But if I can't get these big names and stuff on the show, it's like, I don't need these people. So the smart thing that she always did was I'm actually the talent. People actually come to watch me on TV. I don't care about Beyonce, whatever the case is. Now I'm gonna get her flowers when she's off doing other things. But when we come in to tune into the Wendy Williams show, we tune in for the hot topics. And then, which I always like the fact that, first of all, I remember when in the beginning of the show, I was mad because the damn hot topics segment was too damn short. Then once we started to get the wheels and stuff started and everything started cooking with gas over there at Wendy Williams and it being such a successful show, the hot topics almost ran for a half an hour. So it was like half the show, which we was living for. Because we came there for Wendy and her opinion on stuff, which is why I think a lot of times people tune in for that when you watch like pundits and stuff on TV if they're talking about celebrity news and gossip. Hence is why I believe y'all watch this mess of the show. But for the most part, when it comes to Wendy, that is the truth on that. And then if they bring in some random, reality star like Luann, Countess Luann or somebody, or you do a cooking segment, even better. But for the most part, the hot topics was where it was at. And the fact that I loved about Wendy, besides her being the talent, she always would bring other people that work behind the scenes in the spotlight. So you saw Norman, you saw Suzanne, you saw oh my God, who's that fine hunk of a man that she always had off on the side that now works for Sherry Shepherd. She would bring him on too. And somebody, and then DJ Booth, who's now over there, I guess, whenever Nicki Minaj decides to go on tour, then he goes and he's behind her playing her beats and things of that nature. Because when I worked the Pink Friday 2 tour, he was there. So Wendy always gave opportunities and shine to other people that were working in the crew. So that made it more entertaining. So I do agree with them when they always say, like, that the only crew we ever knew, because she gave everybody their little moment, whether they wanted it or not. Child, speaking of Sherry, somebody decided to throw a dagger in her direction. Talking about Sherry can never replace Wendy. I don't think Sherry is trying to, but Sherry is a little too Hollywood for me. Like, she a little too happy-go-lucky. It's like that irritating. I do not like her show, but if y'all like it, I love it. I just feel like it just comes across as just corny and insincere, but that's what the people like. She's a good tap dancer. I don't want to make it like it's, she just up there cooning buffooning. She don't give that, but it's just that Sherry's non-threatening. So she works good for advertisers and things of that nature. And I guess y'all don't need her to be. So, it was good to hear from Suzanne in regards to this. I wonder what Suzanne's been up to since the Wendy Williams show went off the air. Of course, I'm rooting for Wendy, hoping that she gets her stuff together, hope that she gets free. Hashtag free Wendy. Let's keep that going. And, hey, Suzanne. That's all I got to say on that. I'm trying to find something else to say. But the thing got the wrap. So I love y'all with this. What am I talking about? It's like I'm wrapping up the damn show. What do you guys think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are on Suzanne giving an update on Wendy Williams. You know what? Another thing. This is what I noticed too. That's why I said before, I do not believe that she has frontal temporal dementia, because if she had the same exact disease that Bruce Willis has, which they just announced that he can no longer speak. They said like the thing has gotten so bad in him that he can't even talk anymore. Wendy sound right as rain. I just think it was just, there might have been some damage, some dementia or damage done on her brain because of the excessive drinking and the fact that she probably wasn't eating. And that does take its effect on you when you constantly passing out, and then dehydration, all this stuff, that does cause damage. So I do believe that there's some damage there. But in regards to that, I think she's been misdiagnosed. And that's why I'm hoping like she gets the test done and she's able to do what she needs to do. Now, will she be able to be as sharp as a whip as she once was when she was doing the celebrity news and gossip, if she decides to come back and do like a podcast or whatever the case is? No, I don't think she is. But that Wendy is still there. We see it. But I just think like in the future, maybe she's going to need a co-host or something to help her out and do a show. So I still just say whatever your thoughts are on this story, definitely let me know in the comments. Leave it down there below. I was going to say, where is the thing? Oh, okay. Read the Celine Dion Taking Chances World Tour. That was in the middle of the arena, and it turned every act to give all sides of the floor an act. I have a feeling Justin. I would not be surprised if he voted for Trump. Yeah, ever since Wendy's show got canceled, I haven't tuned into any other day. Yeah. Oh my God, I just remembered I gotta watch Beyond the Gates. I don't know how I don't know how long they keep those episodes and stuff up there, especially when you do soaps. Because I know with Fox, with Hulu, they give you a certain amount, like if the like for example, The View, they're like, oh, you have this is going to expire in like 5 days or 7 days or something or another, and then they make room for other stuff. So I need to watch those because I don't know how long they're going to keep them episodes up there. So I want to watch that show from the beginning. This will be probably the first time I've ever watched this. No, it's not. Because the first soap opera I was able to see from the beginning, that was during the time when I was alive, was Passions. Remember that? Remember that show? I used to love me some Passions. Timmy, may he rest in peace. Miguel, I think the woman that played the witch that was with Timmy, I think she died too. Then we had Miguel, from what was it was Jesse Metcalf fine behind? He was cute back then. He ain't aged all that great now, but he was fine back then. Um but yeah, I haven't really watched a lot of stuff too. And it's funny because once Wendy went over to from radio to TV, that's when I stopped listening to actual secular radio, or just radio in general. Sherry Shepherd and the gossip. She's what Ellen Oprah were, but not as interesting. Well, she tries to do hot topic segments and stuff on her show. But well, anyway, I'm not even going to dignify with a response. Not what you said, but it's just like she does hot topics. No disrespect to Sherry. She's doing her thing and she's funny, but Wendy was one of a kind. Exactly. Wendy didn't have to try to be anything but herself. I would prefer Screamer for Hudson over any other daytime show, even though I think it's random and that she and Kelly Clarkson her talk show, and they've been renewed for another season. They announced Kelly Clarkson got a renewal, Tamara Hall got a renewal, Screamer for Hudson got a renewal. You know what annoys me too? That thing that they do now. So now y'all getting the Ellen territory with y'all show. Because remember when Ellen started dancing on the show and now they got to keep it in? And so she had to keep doing it for like 17 years. Now they doing that backstage with Screaming for Hudson. Everybody that come through the room or come from backstage onto the stage, they got to do this stupid little shit. I'm like, okay, whatever. They all got to do that. Why do I sound like I'm just grouchy today? It's like they got to do that dumb shit. Because I just saw Jordan Lopez out here looking like the Mexican Albert Einstein doing that while he was about to go out on stage. He didn't cut that damn hair. He looks like the killer. um, Sherry plays it. That's probably me too. I'm too introverted for that Soul Train stuff. I need to be under the influence to kind of loosen up a little bit. But then again, I'm not on anything now and I'm extroverted. Maybe it's because, the light is on. Let it loose, I said let it loose. Sherry plays it too safe. That's why A-list celebrities go to her and not Wendy because she don't sugarcoat. That's why I said I would have to just do my show independent because if I have to kind of water down this stuff that I'm saying to y'all now, y'all gonna look at me as like you fake as fuck, you sold out, you over there with them people. I feel like I've matured, but even I wouldn't believe it. I would just have to be myself. So I would have to self-finance my show. But anyway, like I said, YouTube, the internet, that is the future. Network television, legacy media, it's on the outs. They're still trying to fight and hold on for dear life, but that's on the outs. More people watch, and you can ask anybody, and I don't know if y'all agree, let me know in the chat. I feel like more people watch YouTube than even like network television or cable TV or even like the news. What is it, like legacy media? Any of that stuff. I feel like more people watch YouTube. Like even with me, with all the streaming services that I pay for, I watch YouTube more than anything, and that's free, which is weird. It's the same thing with Tubi. I'll be over there a lot, and I'm like, Tubi, but look, Tubi's lit. They be having the better movies over there. hmm Kelly Clarkson replaced Ellen, but I feel Kelly is doing karaoke as her own Ellen dance, but it makes people looking. Yeah, I mean, might as well use your singing voice to kind of push things for the show. I mean, she's about to do a residency this fall too. Oh, it's summer. Sorry. Yeah, she's about to do a residency, I believe, in the summertime. Who says I haven't? He said a bus unloaded too. I don't know. I'm just in a cranky mood today for some reason. But anyway, um, oh, where we going? Okay, so let's talk about this story. So now, yesterday we talked a little bit about LaTocha doing that challenge. The what is it called? The residuals verse challenge or something or another. So yeah, so she recently did that, but now of course I was sitting there trying to give her the benefit of the doubt because I'm all about, you know, even though family will stab you in the front and the back before anybody else will, and they're supposed to be your ride or dies and blood is thicker than water, all that other stuff that we've been spoon fed and lied to our entire lives. But like I said, the family will stab you before your friends will, for the most part. This is just me from experience. So we talked a little bit about that. LaTocha went and did the challenge, which is from a Chris Brown song. It was originally started by Tank, and then a bunch of other people were coming in doing the challenge as well. But I believe that LaTocha is the only woman that has done it, and people was living. I mean, and don't get me wrong, she ate with her vocals. LaTocha is talented, so we're not going to take that from her. But the passive aggressiveness, the victim, the victimness, the victim game that she likes to play, I'm trying to figure out how to word it. She likes to play the victim a lot of times. She wants to play like she takes responsibility, but then when you really think about it, it's like, girl, you really have to take a responsibility for the things that you said and done, especially to your sister. And the alleged 30K that you stole, that was your sister's. We learned that from the reality show, the SWV and Xscape reality show that they had over there at Bravo. So we do have the fact that, because we was wondering, was like, well, Tamika, is she going to speak out or whatever the case was? She spoke out and Candy spoke out. So let's get into the story. So on February 25th, as y'all know, she reworked the lyrics to Chris Brown's hit Residuals, giving fans an intimate look into her life while stepping away from Xscape, the group she co-founded with sister Tamika Scott, Candy Burris, and Tamika Tiny Harris. Because remember, in the video, she said that that she was kicked out the group. Well, Candy was asked on a red carpet for something. I don't know where she was. Excuse me. But I believe she was talking with Vibe, and I don't have the clip for her, but I do have the Tamika clip with her sister. She went and told the reporter, she was like, that's not true. Like, if she's going to be out here telling it, she did tell her correctly. Said, we didn't kick her out of the group. We were going to go on tour. And we remember this from the reality show. We were going to go out on tour. We had obligations. You decided to show your entire behind and say that you didn't want to go and perform with us anymore because you wanted to go promote your gospel music. You wanted to be a solo artist. Rocky was up there blowing all that smoke in your behind, making you think you was Beyonce. And that you ain't need them girls no more. You had your face and name and the record label, everything put on the tour bus. Y'all had this big crew of people that was traveling with y'all like you was, like I literally said, like you was Beyonce. You had a whole glam squad. You had a whole bunch of people following you around. I'm surprised somebody wasn't walking around with a portable fan, making sure your weave was blowing as you was walking, doing the crazy in love strut. But so your husband up there gassing you, your ego was the size of New Orleans and California combined. I should have said California because California is huge. So you was doing all of that. And so you was up there saying, I don't need y'all. And it was like, okay, well, you don't need us. You go off and do your thing. May the best woman win. Go off and do your little, promote your gospel music. Go do your big one for the Lord. And we'll sit over here and we'll sing Just Kicking It and Understanding and all this other stuff as a trio. And we won't have to cut you in on we don't have to split it 4 ways. Now we can just split it 3 ways, which is more money for us. But now, because the solo situation flopped, now you want to come over here and play the victim. And then now you want to come out and make this little video and then have everybody thinking, oh yeah, LaTocha's taking ownership in what she's doing. Well, not according to Tamika, because she spilled the tea. So Hold on, let me scroll down to this thing because I don't want to give the whole recap of the thing. I felt like I said enough with that. But then, so they said that the challenge originally started by Tank on his R&B Money podcast as a tribute to Chris Brown's 11:11, has drawn vocal powerhouses like Boyz II Men, Sean Stockman, Vito, and Trevor Jackson to try their pipes at it. Even Jacob Lattimore's vulnerable take sparked speculation about his breakup with singer Soraya, who y'all remember, she used to be on Empire. Remember, look at that body, don't I look sexy? You know, I do that song every now and again on this show. So now, but LaTocha's interest stood out for its raw honesty. Excuse me. Now, perhaps more heartbreaking was a reference to the riff with Tamika, and of course, I miss my sister. This is a crazy feeling, but you know, family-ish, needing time for healing. So yeah, we got that one. We'll just put that on again because I'm like, yeah, we're not playing that music. Because like I said before, I don't want to get demonetized. So now, for those who need a recap, how all this, because there's always been a little rockiness has been going on for years, and we became more privy to it during the reality show that they did over at Bravo. But the initial drama, where we saw the tension play out, was over on social media, because I remember I reported that here back in 2022, when they went to the Soul Train Awards, and all the girls was coordinated in black dresses, and LaTocha shows up in this gold gown. So it's like, people was looking, so y'all didn't communicate with each other to let each other know what y'all was going to wear? Then they tried to come up with some little excuse or whatever, but it also resulted in allegations that Rocky had made several separate travel arrangements without informing the group. So her husband, according to the people in the group and speculators on social media, was saying that he is the factor in trying to cause this rift between LaTocha and the other members of the group, especially with the sister. And you want to know who also I think is at fault in this too? Tamika and LaTocha's mother. I feel like she plays the sisters against each other. And I hate parents that do that. I feel like that is the worst kind of situation that a parent could do, is basically try to act like you got a favorite. And clearly, LaTocha is the favorite out of the Scott family. And even the father said he would like to see them get back together. But the mother be up in there doing her manipulative one too. Because according to Tamika, the mother knew that LaTocha and Rocky stole her $30,000. Because we saw that play out on the reality show. We all gagged and clutched our invisible pearls watching it. So, and then she said that, yeah, they redirected the payments to the company using Tamika's songwriter ID. Now, despite the drama, LaTocha continued performing Xscape music during her church service in July of 2023. And so now what had happened was, to get to the whole situation, because I need to give you all that backstory. You know, Tamika's always been there trying to patch things up with her sister. However, the brat recently had a conversation with Tamika, and Tamika called into the Ricky Smiley show to tell her side of the story. So let's get to that clip, and then we'll come back and talk. Please hold.
Well, y'all, LaTocha Scott from Xscape joined Chris Brown's Residuals Challenge, and she absolutely killed it, y'all. I hadn't seen a girl do one yet, and she murdered it. I saw it yesterday in my car on Instagram, and I was like, man, I showed my wife. She killed it. I was so happy because I felt like everything was going great. Well, anyway, she touched on rumors about her husband, Rocky, allegedly having a baby outside their marriage, and revealed that they've been separated for 2 years. Check this out.
Reading through the comments, they say he having a baby. I don't know who's lying. Maybe I was blind. And of course I miss my sister. This a crazy feeling. But y'all know family be needing time for healing.
Oh, wow.
Now, she also addressed the ongoing tension with her sister, Tamika Scott, expressing that she misses her sister, and eventually they would discuss the residuals that have caused them friction. She also shared thoughts about being kicked out of Xscape and calling it insane. Check this out.
My sister was insane. Kicked out of my group and it's insane. Everybody in the media was tearing me down, down, down. I'm only human. Sis, you've got my word. We gon' have some words about the residual.
So y'all, when I heard this, I got goosebumps. Me and my wife was in the car going crazy. I was like, oh my God, everything is finna be worked out. She gonna talk to her sister. They gonna talk about the residuals. Well, y'all, we got Tamika Scott on the phone, and she gonna talk to us about some of the things that are going on. Because I actually called her to make sure it was okay, you know, to talk about this or whatever. So Tamika had a little something to say. So, Meatball, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, girl.
What up?
How are you? How are you? So,
I'm good.
so tell me what your reaction is to this, because I called you. I was happy. I was like, everything finna be worked out. And you said,
you know what? My sister's voice is undeniable. You know what I mean? I always said that she was my favorite singer. She's going to always be my favorite singer. She definitely ate vocally.
Yes.
But in real life, I think it's a genius marketing strategy for her new music. It really is. We haven't, talked. She hasn't called me. My number's the same. The address the same. So if this is real, sis, pull up. I'm cooking now. Pull up. Let's do breakfast. Because the last time I saw her at a family function, I was on the dance floor jamming. Her and my mom walks in, and when they saw me, they walked out. And that kind of crushed me a little bit, because I felt like that was the proper. I feel like, we around family. Time. And if any type of reconciliation, I felt like if she probably walked up to me, I probably would have just fell in her arms crying. But her and my mom, they walked out. So listen, my number is the same. My address is the same. Sis, pull up. Let's talk about these residuals. If this is, real, let's talk about the residuals. But it's definitely a great marketing strategy for her new music that's coming out. And she sounds amazing.
She does sound amazing. And when she talked about the residuals, I thought she was talking about what we learned on the show when Rocky had changed the check and took your money or something like that.
Yeah. I thought that too. And I felt it until the end. And it's like, at first my heart was like, oh my gosh, she's singing to me. And at the very end, the way she looked at the camera, like, And I was like, okay.
Oh, this is something else.
Yeah.
Dang,
I felt it until the end, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, just call me. And if she's listening, sis, you got my number. You got my number. You got my address. Pull up. Let's sit down. I'll cook you a good meal. I throw down. Let's sit down.
Right.
Let's talk about these residuals.
Maybe we can arrange our Spirit to meet up with y'all and have a conversation. The therapist that's right there. She's always available and have helped a lot of families come back together. What you say, Brad?
I was going to say, I don't even think Tamika need that. I just feel like Tamika feel like if Tasha was ready to reconcile or fix it, she ready. Like she said, she would have fell into her arms, but they left. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was so happy because I thought this was bringing them back together when she did this. I didn't even think about it being for her new music that was coming out. I just thought she was pouring her heart out, Yeah.
All right, so y'all pretty much got the gist. I just want to give y'all enough of that so that way y'all know what's going in. And I do agree with the brat. I don't agree with I'm gonna say Tavis Smiley. Remember him over at PBS? I don't agree with Ricky Smiley. No, you don't need to bring in no Iyanla Van Zandt guru type or whatever to come and try to patch them up. If they want to make the situation work, they'll make it work. Just like Tamika said that she's willing and able to listen to her sister if she wants to come and be the bigger person. Because first of all, I would pay on my side. I don't got nothing to apologize for. I've never come at you nasty. I've never come at you sideways. I've never disrespected you. It's always been you, been jealous of me, and just want all the eyes and the accolades and the spotlight and everything on yourself. So I'm coming at you humble as a woman, me putting myself in Tamika's shoes, to wanting to work things out. But you want to know something? Sometimes you got to wash your hands of people and keep it pushing, because you can't help those that don't want to help themselves. But I do agree. That's why I agree with Debrat when she said that no, she needs to be the one to come forward. And if she wants to do what needs to be done, then she needs to do that. I think it's just tacky. And I think Roro called this out yesterday. I was trying to get the benefit of the doubt, but in the back of my mind, I was feeling more or less on the other side of like, this is a stunt. She's not really serious about this situation. And that this is a stunt for whatever reason. I didn't know if it was new music, because I'm like, quiet as it's kept. Y'all didn't care enough to buy that gospel music. What makes you think y'all going to buy her regular R&B track? At this point, like I told you, ain't nobody trying to hear vocals on no music no more. This new generation, all they care about is, can I bop this? What's the bop? Where the bop at? Like, that's all this new generation, they don't care about the fact that who's the next LaToya Luckett, who's the next Kelly Rowland, who's the next Kelly Price. Like, they ain't thinking about that. And there's no shade, but it's just, and LaTocha is talented. But here's another thing where I figured her ass was lying. Now, she said that it's been 2 years since she's been with Rocky, right? Now, when we got SWV and Xscape, the Queen's R&B TV show, that came out in 2023. It's 2025. It's still the beginning stages of 2025. So technically, It's not even a full 2 years. It's like maybe a year and some change. If you want to combine both of them together, it still don't add up to 2 years. So we know she lying. And then on top of that, you come out with this song trying to tell people that y'all done patch things up. But Tamika just literally said that she was at a family function, getting down with the get down on the dance floor. LaTocha walks in with her shady ass mother. Minute they see Tamika on the dance floor, they walk right out. So what's that about? You had an opportunity there to work things out with your sister. So, and look, I've been somebody who has seen so much in not only in my family with dealing with significant others and how evil they can be, and also seeing other family members, especially on my mother's side of the family with a lot of my cousins and how they deal with their siblings and all this other stuff, the drama that I've encountered or heard gossip wise from other family members, I'm just like, mm-mm. And you're at a point in your life, I think Tamika and LaTocha, I think they're all in their 40s. You're at a point in your life, or maybe in late 40s, early 50s, we'll put y'all in that box. You got to protect your peace. And if family members is going to allow ego and other people chirping in their ear to not want to work things out, then you just need to cut ties. But I'll leave the door open still, but you have to literally come sincere as a woman to your sister to want to make it work. And you pulling this stunt, like I said before, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you a dumbass bitch. And that's what it's given. Because it's like, I'm not going to keep allowing you to pull, string me along and pull stunts and shows and think, oh yeah, they finally going to work it out. But you only doing this because you want attention for whatever music you got coming. If this is a way for you to sell records, sis, that was only a temporary high that you're getting. But is that going to equal to record sales? I doubt it. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards of Tamika speaking out and Candy? I told y'all briefly what she had said in the beginning in regards of, well, LaTocha out here claiming with this challenge. It's like, we're not denying you your talent. You can sing down to the floor and you have a lot of talent. It's just that attitude is horrible. You need to work on that, sis. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Lord, we got a lot of comments. Like I said, when a Gen Z, it's like when a Gen Z asks why he don't watch movies, it's because of YouTube has documentaries interested in. Well, I think people just don't, and the new generation, they don't consume movies like we used to. Like back in the day, we had to go to the movies because there wasn't a lot of options. But I just think for the most part, it's like me. I guess they don't watch movies. Me personally, I don't know how people watch stuff on their phone. I watch stuff on my phone if I'm cooking or if I'm doing other stuff around the house. But for the most part, if I'm watching a movie, like a movie I really want to watch, like a big screen film, I need like a TV or something like that. But I have noticed recently, from what I've heard, a lot, and that's why they changed up the overall design. A lot of people watch YouTube on their TV. Like I know some people that watch this show on their television. I watch a lot of YouTube on my television. But if it's something I want to get through really quick, I'll put it on my phone and I'll be doing other stuff. True crimes, because they rarely carry women serial killers. I'm not really big on the whole true crime thing. I think Felix is big on true crime. Make a logo image and use that for your thumbnail for algorithm. I have a logo image. It's at the top right. But you want to know something? I have been thinking about using my thumbnails and stuff in regards of just having that be consistent instead of consistently having to come up with a picture. Because the pictures is cute or whatever, trying to come up with all that design stuff, but State Department terminated foreign aid to Ukraine. Whatever. He is so annoying. I wish that, if the Democrats were smart, that they would be out here just flooding the zone with lawsuits. That's what y'all need to be doing. Just like he flooding the zone with these executive orders, the other team need to be playing defense and filing countless legal papers. Because Trump loves being in the courthouse, apparently. I don't even remember the early days of YouTube. You mean when it was less crowded? Don't have to worry about monetizing and copyrights. Well, no, don't be shitting on my coins. You talking about monetizing. I mean, I make money doing YouTube videos. So we do have to, I mean, I don't mind the monetizing part. The copywriting can be annoying at times, depending. I find ways to get around that. But and I've had some people show me how I can get around the copyrights and things. I found out they forced one of my videos to be only for kids. And that's what my channel is too. I literally have it like where it's not made for kids. And the kids will find a way to watch if they want to. Still, but YouTube is now a big player in big media. Exactly. So YouTube is competing with big media. So like I said before, more people watch YouTube than any other streamer. I feel like from what I heard, if I'm not mistaken, they're talking about that YouTube is going to get in the space of greenlighting shows and movies and things and putting it there. I think that'd be a great idea, a great way. Or people who are independent like us, if we have a film that we want to get seen, we can put it up on YouTube and people can watch it. And if enough people watch it, they can monetize it. And then you can start paying, the director makes money, all the people that work behind the scenes, the actors, all that other stuff. They'll have to figure that out. But I was like, yeah, we should get into the space of competing with a Hulu and a Disney Plus and a Prime Video, Apple TV. YouTube should be competing with that. Not only just us doing, this type of content that I'm doing now, where we're all doing like streaming and talk shows and things of that nature. There should be a way for like people, and that's a space I want to get into down the road. I put stuff out in university, usually happens. I want to get into the space of producing and creating and hopefully hosting, well, not hopefully, hosting, I'll say it, or judging an idea that I have that's a reality competition series, or you can post a reality TV show idea up there. I see a couple of YouTubers and people who use YouTube to post their shows, like they got Bad Boys Club or Bad Boys or something or another, which is like a gay version of the Bad Girls Club. And I'm not talking about that shit that was on Zeus. There's another one that actually they with Miss Karan. And then, which I think now he puts it on his Patreon. Or you have people that do like, what's the other show with that Oliver Twix was part of at one point, but now he's not on it anymore. Raising Atlanta or Raising, those type of shows that they had, which was sort of like a Real Housewives with gay men and trans girls. That's kind of where they need to go with that. Look at me giving ideas. I wouldn't be surprised if he was the one who took the money. Well, look, that was the rumor that Rocky took that $30K, and the mother and LaTocha was aware of it. And I'm sure they probably got a piece of that pie too. And how Tamika found out about the money was through Tiny's mother. Meta is getting sued by tons of former female employees, most of them in the lawsuits allege that Mark Zuckerberg demanded sex from a child. He'd have to try to pay for sex or force somebody to sleep with him. After Mark wanted to go back to the boys' club only. Yeah, that's another thing too. They do be hating because then when you get a lot of success and when they see you as competition, they want to flag your stuff. There's pros, but YouTube back in the day was more fun and engaging without worrying about headaches. Now they appeal more to these corporations more than the creators. Well, eventually that always happens whenever your product is big enough. Gene Hackman has been dead for 9 days. Well, damn. Well, look, they did say that the maintenance crew wasn't there for like 2 weeks. So that's plausible that the body started, and then it said the body started to get mummified, his and hers. So they had been in the house for a week and like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. So around the time when the maintenance people weren't there, within that period, they had passed away and they've just been left alone. Some parents will grow jealous of their own children. It's sad because they're supposed to be. Hello. And well, luckily my parents aren't jealous of me, but I just got a sibling that is of me. But I'm like, it ain't my fault. You're a loser. I said, y'all will fix my life. The 7th, and here it is, the 28th. I saw how Tita turned her mother was with her. She didn't love her. Remember when she was trying to push her off on Ike? And not only that, she knew Ike was cheating, or Tina was telling her mother that Ike was cheating. You need to let a man be a man. He gonna do it because back in those days it was all about the man gonna take care of you. You just need to look the other way and just deal with it. Let him beat on you as long as he's taking care of you. Let him cheat on you as long as you're getting a little, you're getting food, water, and shelter, and some water and a little money thrown in your direction. But she was getting that because she was performing. I think her song is a stunt to trying to make people. Well, look, it was temporary because now when Tamika said what she said, I want to see if those same people are going to be Team LaTocha. That's a good question. What are their astrological signs? Let me see. When is LaTocha Scott? What year was she born? October. Child, she a Libra. October 2nd. I was like, Oh yeah, I did see that Candy Burris address of LaTocha Scott residual challenge. Well, I already told you what she said. So she a Libra. October 2nd, 1973. Okay, so she's in her 50s. She's 51. And let's see, Tamika Scott. How old is she? Oh, I already had to look her up. Oh, she's November 19, 1974. So she's 50. What's November? Is that that's not a Sagittarius, right? What's the one that come before that? Between Libra and Sagittarius? Because Sagittarius is late November, early December. Not you looked it up before I even got to the answer. Use my face. Oh, well, yeah. LaTocha was born in the beginning of October. Tamika is mid-November. Yes, a consistent thumbnail works. Logo. LaTocha is a Libra. They're only a year apart. It's official English. Yeah, I heard. That's stupidness. Even though it is the official language in America, but whatever. This is what you're wasting money on or our time on instead of lowering the price of eggs. But okay. He's got to pay his debts to those technical oligarchs in Silicon Valley. Whatever. Okay, I watch a lot of true crime shows on Hulu. See, I told you. Oh, she a Scorpio. Oh, Cobra Kai started. Yeah, it show did. I forgot about that. Yeah, Cobra Kai started as a YouTube series before they got picked up. So did Dragula. Dragula started out on YouTube before it went to Shudder. They did original programming. Cobra Kai was a YouTube premium, but I believe it was too early. But I feel like now YouTube was before its time. I feel like now more people will be ready for original programming on, YouTube, and then it could grow and gradually go somewhere else. So, so I do feel like it was before its time, but it got moved to Netflix to get more global appeal. Chasing Atlanta, exactly. Mummified is crazy. And the dead dog in the closet. Next to the wife, too. They would go to the movies if it's affordable. Most millennials and Gen Z are stuck to YouTube and other streaming services. Is cheaper than going out. Yeah, and we're all struggling. And it's funny how you get these people that's running out here, well, you need to go out and get an apartment and get a job and get this and get that. I'm like, first of all, have y'all not been paying attention to the news as of late? And they're not even trying to hide it anymore. They're outsourcing all the jobs to other countries so that way they can pay foreigners cheaper labor, where they can have them working to the bone with no bathroom break and no lunch break. Where they ain't gonna get away with that over here. They don't have to pay them a full wage. So they're outsourcing the jobs. They're raising the prices on everything, including apartments. And now we're trying to get rent stabilization or a rent freeze. We got this new what's his name? Zoran. The new guy that's trying to run for mayor. They're not interested in he's trying to bring the rent at a standstill because every year is getting worse. Like, why is rent going up? Like, people are literally struggling, especially in New York, where they're just like going ham with the prices and stuff out here for no damn reason. So it's like when people's about, well, when I was a kid or whatever, I'm like, you were a kid in like 1950s and 60s. We're in 2025. That's 60, 70 years ago. Growing up, getting an apartment, getting a job, not having to worry about going broke is different from now. And like I tell people all the time, it's like, yeah, in the 90s, you can get a house for $30K. Now, you know how much a $30K a house will cost you in 2025? It will cost you damn near $500,000. So a lot of people don't have that. But we need to be hitting these politicians with that instead of y'all out here. And look, it's great and all that everybody's talking about free Palestine and voting, going for George Floyd and all this stuff. These are valid situations, but we need to go hard for our stuff just as hard as we go for free Palestine. When you hit 90, you got to be on Grim Reaper notice. I ain't want to laugh at that. But my cousin Priscilla thinks my mom is jealous of her. I wouldn't be surprised. More people on a Friday is it a universal gay day off. Wait, who are you talking about? You're talking about more people on a Friday. I just watch everything. I watched Wicked. The last time I watched the movie in a theater was 2 summers ago for Barbie. Oh, you watch everything online. And you know what? Look, we can't necessarily just blame them. We got to also blame the industry. Because here's the thing. This idiot, Adam Aaron, who actually was my boss at the time when I was but I was there during the transition period when I was at AMC. He was out there talking about, this whole 17 to 30-day window of movies being in a theater before it goes to streaming. Yeah, it's hurting them and it's a bad idea. But this is the same moron that okayed it. But I can understand if you did that because of the pandemic. But now we ain't been don't be surprised we will end up in another one during this administration. But, since then, you could have still changed it up. Y'all could have still did past the 40-day situation and not release movies like the movie Love Hurts. When did that come out? Valentine's Day, right? If you go on Prime Video right now, that movie is available to rent or buy. Like, the movie ain't been in the theater 2 weeks. And it kind of has been. Well, no, it hasn't. Because it was, what's today, the 28th? Oh, yeah, it has been in the theater 2 weeks. Because February 14th was Valentine's Day. Today is the 28th, last day of Black History Month. So literally, the movie has been in the theaters for 2 weeks, and already it's on streaming to buy or to purchase to buy. You ain't get a movie. I mean, the movie pretty much was flopping hard at the box office, and people really wasn't going to go see it because it's not a good film, from what I've heard. But nevertheless, I'm like, damn, y'all just be throwing stuff already on the streaming service. I wonder how long it's going to take them to put Hard Eyes on streaming. Okay, let's hurry up and get through these. You said AI taking jobs. The wife was in another room and there were pills all around the house. Yeah, we talked about that. 20 years ago, life was different, but they have to realize their children are screwed. That's what I be telling people. It's like, y'all need to come into the real world and stop living in the Matrix. I drove past my city university today and got a wave of FOMO. And I'm thinking about going back to school, but the price of school. Yeah, college has gotten ridiculously expensive. So I thought about getting back into pirating movies. And get that, what is it called? VPN? Last one I saw in theaters was The Color Purple and Wonka. I'm trying to think, what was the last movie I watched in the theater? Oh, Captain America, Brave New World. That was the last movie I saw in the theater. I didn't see that. I'm going to see The Monkey on Sunday. It looks fun. Well, I heard the movie's getting good reviews. That's probably the one Oz Perkins movie that it's going to be good because I did not like Long Legs. Well, let me know how it is because I will not be going to see that movie. Yeah, we established things on Hard Eyes, Final Destination, Bloodlines, Megan 2.0, lots of good horror films. Well, I'll definitely be watching those in the theater. And I saw the recent pictures of Neve Campbell in her whole Sidney Prescott regalia on social media, and they show Ghostface doing a chase sequence in the city. I'm like, damn, can y'all stop spoiling stuff with this movie? Well, remember, Jim and the Holograms only was in theaters for 2 weeks, but the movie, that movie was terrible. So was the Charlie's Angels remake. All right, so let's move on with the rest of the show. How many more topics do we have? Okay, so we got 4 more topics actually left in the show. We are done. So before we get to said topics, if you have not already, please do me a solid, hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash the notification bell if you are subscribed, so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Okay, so now without further ado, let's get into this story. Oh, I forgot to close these windows. We get to the next topic. Now, we have talked about Katy Perry and this whole situation before, that apparently she's going through it because of this house that she was trying to buy, and I guess she was taking the people to court. But I had no idea that the guy that she was getting the house from, his daughter-in-law was on one of the Housewives shows. So Real Housewives of Dallas star Cameron Westcott, that's one of the franchises I don't watch, by the way. That's how I didn't know who she was, is claiming that her bedridden father-in-law is succumbing to his Huntington's disease and is begging Katy Perry to grant the patriarch his dying wish to spend his last days peaceful in the home he lived in before eventually being moved to a memory care facility in Dallas. Now, Westcott said her father-in-law, Carl, never intended to sell the sprawling 9,285 square foot home to the firework pop star. Now, in an exclusive interview with DailyMail.com, Cameron said Perry is still pushing to collect $6 million from her 85-year-old father-in-law, who has been bedridden for the past year because of Huntington's disease, saying they are not backing down. This is what Cameron said of Perry and the pop star's husband. Well, they're not married. Orlando Bloom, saying there's never a negotiation. Maybe that's why Orlando Bloom was looking older than usual, because he is not aging well. I don't think he's in his late 40s. Have y'all seen him? He got crow's feet and everything. It's probably being around that broad he done knocked up. So there, they said that they're not backing out. They want to go through with it. And, for us, we want to be done with this. So now they also said we want to focus on my father-in-law's health. We want to be with him and have the last few days peaceful. This is the last thing we want to deal with. Now, for the past 4 years, the Westcotts have been embroiled in a nasty legal battle with the power couple for the 2.5-acre property in the celebrity enclave of Montecito, California. Now, Carl Westcott, a retired U.S. Army veteran who was a successful entrepreneur and founded several businesses such as 1-800-Flowers, had agreed to sell the property to Perry for $15 million in July 15, 2020. Now, days later, however, she tried to reverse the sale and said his judgment was clouded by powerful medication he was taking after he was They said it was clouded by powerful medication he was taking after he had debilitating back surgery. Now, Westcott had only been in the home for about 2 months before Perry's business manager, Bernie Buzbee, agreed to pay him $3,750,000 more than he had just bought the property. Now, Westcott's attorneys argued the contract was voidable because of Westcott's mental state. So if you're going after somebody when they're in their most vulnerable, then I think that they should probably renege on the whole situation. But that's for the courts to decide at this point. So a Los Angeles judge, however, ruled in favor of Perry, who was declared the legal owner of the estate in December of 2023. The singer was handed the keys in March of 2024. And with her being traveling and such, she's probably barely home, which I always find it weird with these celebrities. Y'all spend all this money on these multiple homes and y'all barely live up in them. Just wasting money. The case is not over yet, as Perry and Bloom are demanding the bedridden Westcott pay them $6 million for what they claim are extensive repairs that need to be made to the property and back rent they could have charged to potential tenants. Wait, so you bought a mansion, but you're talking about that it's back rent they could have charged the potential tenants? So are y'all buying something to rent to people or have them live in there? And what are you trying to put them off into like sectionals? Like each person they rent a room and then you collect a little coin from them. Like what's going on? Like I understand like there's some people that do like Airbnb types of their mansions. So it's like if I'm traveling or whatever the case is, and the house is up for market, and it just so happens that say like I'm trying to think of an actor of like a John Bernthal is in town to film something, and he needs a place to stay for the next 2 months while Katy is off touring in Dubai and overseas or wherever the case is, then I'm renting this for a certain time and then I'm just paying her the money. So I'm wondering if that's what this situation is. But I mean, because there's no way in hell you're going to have like a slew of people living up in there like it's an apartment complex. They don't think in that context. It's just celebrities renting the place out when they're traveling, whatever the case is, because somebody's going to upkeep the place. So they said it's heartbreaking that someone could be so greedy, and it's heartbreaking that someone has no heart. Cameron, well, child, the word on the curb is Katy isn't the nicest person. And I've had people slide in my DMs and tell me that. They said, I hope this never happens to her parents. It breaks her heart, and I just wish that they had a little more compassion on the situation. And I wouldn't even wish this on her family. I wish it on no one's family, and I hope no one else has to go through this. Now, shortly after the 2020 sale, Perry and Bloom wrote a letter to Carl Westcott thanking the war veteran for selling them his property, saying, though there were other properties that did interest us, yours will provide us the comfort of security, privacy, and safety. This is what the couple wrote. They continue, this home will be a respite, or is it respite? I don't know. I'm not familiar with this word. One where we can be able to grow together as a family. Now, Cameron said reading the letter surprised her family. Now, if you sit up here talking about that, grow the family, Katy's pushing, well, she's about to be 40. And it's pretty much half powdered at this point. So Cameron said reading the letter surprised her family. She said, I read the letter and I knew it was bogus. The reality star said, I knew it was just a way to get him to pass the house over to Perry. And I knew right away that living in the home was not their intent. It was just a way to try to get him to pass the house over to her. Cameron said Carl, who they lovingly call Captain, never wanted to leave the one-story 1930s home, which includes a tennis court, 2 guest houses, and a pool. Oh, I love that. I love a one-story. I feel like as I get older, that's something I would need to get. I ain't got time to be running up and down no damn stairs. You know, that takes a toll on your knees after a while. It's funny. My parents always said the same thing, too, because, you know, I grew up in a 3-story home where it was like, well, I guess you could say 4-story, because you have the basement. When you go upstairs, there's the living room, the kitchen, the dining room. Then you go upstairs again. Then there's the bedrooms and the bathroom. And then you go upstairs again. There's the attic. So in a way, if you're counting, it's a 4-story, including the basement. My parents, like, as they get old, it's like, oh no, we need like one floor, because after a while, it's like your knees and everything gets the best of you. So, and then you don't want to keep running up and down stairs and things, because that takes its toll. And it happened with my grandfather too. Like, my grandfather's still in my father's childhood home, and they had to move him because he's like 91. They had to move him down to like the first floor, like and turn the dining room into his bedroom, because he can't be going up and down the stairs. Because the time that he did go up the stairs and he was home alone, he fell down the stairs. He had to get surgery, so now he's confined to a wheelchair and all that other stuff. So I totally get it. Like, when the older you get, you don't want to put somebody in a place where it's like a multitude of stairs that they can't get up, because your body can't do all of that anymore. So now they said that he wanted to be in the place that he loves, and that's his favorite place. He wanted to be at peace and have his family around, and he wanted to fill those wishes. We wanted to fill those wishes for him. That's why we decided to fight for him and protect him. Now, Cameron said the family decided to move Captain to a memory care facility in Dallas so they're able to visit the 85-year-old as often as they can. She said Huntington's disease has led to dementia for her father-in-law, who can only say a few words at times. There are days when he can barely sit up from his bed. She said her husband, Court, and brother-in-law, Chart, I can't with these names. Now, this is how you know they white. The minute somebody come out and say Court and Chart, remember Sarah Palin kids, you got Track and Bristol and all these old weird ass names. So they said they have taken on the legal battle against Perry while their dad remains in hospice care, saying we just want to be there for him and make sure he's comfortable in his final few days or months. Every day is different. We just don't know. It's extremely awful. Now, Cameron said Real Housewives fans and others from the community have been supportive of their family's fight against Perry and Bloom, saying, I hope this is a good example for so many people out there to protect your parents. Make sure you know what is always going on and protect them at all times, because there are predators out there and they can be taken advantage of. Yeah, because I've been very much vocal on that when it comes to my parents in certain situations, because especially, with a lot of deaths that's been happening in my family. Like, most recently, my mother's brother passed away. And when it comes down to things, I've been like, look, God forbid anything happens to y'all, make sure all of your stuff is situated so that way when we go down to things, we could deal with it. Now they fighting over trying to get my grandfather's name off of something with my grandmother and all this other stuff. And you got to file this, you got to pay for this and do all that. It's a headache. So, and when they love to wrap people up in legalities and especially when it comes to the bank. So now, while the Westcotts will never see the Montecito home again, their legal showdown against Perry is far from over. So they said the Roar singer will have to provide evidence in an upcoming trial in August for her $6 million damages claim against the Westcotts. Well, you better make sure she probably don't go around with a damn hammer and start bashing up stuff and say, yeah, this is all done. This damage. I was like, no, sis, you need to use that Lifetime's money that you didn't make because nobody bought your album and nobody's buying tickets to this upcoming tour to pay for whatever repairs you got that needs to be done around that mansion. So they said Bloom could also be called to testify in court since the actor was allegedly tasked to hire the dozens of experts who inspected the Montecito property. This is what a source told the DailyMail.com. Now, even Prince Harry was dragged into the feud after Cameron's brother-in-law, Chart Westcott, sent a letter to the British Royal and begged him to exclude Perry from performing at the Invictus Games, an international multi-sport event for wounded and sick veterans and those still in service. Saying that, well, this is how you cheat do wounded and sick veterans, and you're going to have her perform there? Say, as our father's health declines, my brother and I are fighting to preserve his legacy as a man and as a veteran, yet his legal struggle has become a source of immense pain for our family. This is what Chart wrote. Now, the choice to feature Miss Perry at the Invictus Games feels at odds with the event's mission to honor veterans and their sacrifices. Now, while Miss Perry's participation may seem like as a gesture of support for veterans, her relentless pursuit of our father in court tells a different story, one that deeply undermines the values the Games stand for. Nevertheless, Perry, who is pals and neighbors with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, performed at the Invictus Games on February 8th. Now, I do believe I have that picture. Well, there's a picture of the war veteran, good-looking man, and here she is. I don't know what is that outfit she got on. And child, did y'all see the arms? What is that? What is this? What is this? What is these bones? That is not cute. But anyway, you should have photoshopped that. At least Beyonce be fixing her pictures and stuff before she hits in. Katy Perry out here looking like somebody's grandmother with them arms. And how tight that face is pulled. But you want to know something? If this turns out to be true, you are a low down dirty dog. You really are. But then to wrap this up, they asked Cameron, what would she say to Katy and Orlando if she was given the chance? She said, I actually have nothing to say to them. I just hope that this doesn't happen to them one day, and I wouldn't even wish it on them. Like, that's how horrible it is. And I hope that they can open their eyes and see that. And I don't wish harm on anyone, but I really wish that they would just have more compassion within themselves and really think about things that they do that can affect other people and other people's families. Well, if you're not going to see that compassion because they lack it. Why do you think her career is in the toilet musically? And when the last time y'all seen Orlando Bloom in a movie that people actually paid money to see in a theater? I'll wait. I mean, I think majority of his movies going straight to Hulu. So yeah, that's the latest on this story. I will definitely keep you guys abreast of this Katy Perry mess of a story as it develops, but I definitely want to hear from you. What do you guys think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Rose says, I just can't wait to get me some rich people problem like these. Okay, y'all sitting here fighting over a house. I was like, that's the type of rich people problems I need. Well, I don't need no problems. Well, didn't somebody say more money, more problems? That's somebody being Biggie Smalls. Okay, so now let's get into some drag race news, and let's talk about Acacia Forgot, who recently, and in case you forgot her, yeah, she is speaking. It's funny, we got 90 minutes before RuPaul's Drag Race, the next episode comes up, which I'm actually looking forward to. But yeah, so Acacia Forgot recently did an interview, and she is opening up about, who her dream collaborations are, showing her hairy cakes, and why she has forgiven Suzie too, but won't forget. So now RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17, as y'all know, is heating up as the competition nears the halfway point, and tension reached boiling point in last week's episode. Now, at the end of episode 8, as y'all remember, the Wicked Wiz of Oz Rusical Challenge, it was ultimately California country diva Acacia Forgot who lit it in the bottom and had to sashay away after she went up against Corey King to Wet Dream by Adam Lambert. So at the end of episode 8, The Wicked Wizard of Oz Rusical Challenge, it was ultimately California. Okay, so they said there's no place like home and exactly blah, blah, blah. Now, while her role as Kansas Dorothy wasn't bewitching enough for the judges, it was a part she fought for intensely. So now they said that at the start of the episode, you saw her fight Suzie Toot for the part, with her competitor suggesting that Acacia wouldn't be able to make the role funny enough. Now, Acacia has since spoke to Pride about what went down during the heated conversation and suggested that while she and Suzie are now on good terms, she would never forget their tense exchange, saying, at that point, she was just getting so arrogant and really thought that she was such hot-ish and could not deal with that. And I could not deal with that, especially after the Snatch game. She was just so upset she wasn't at the top. And I was like, you didn't do well. Why are you so arrogant? This is what Acacia reflected on by saying, I felt that because she was getting so arrogant, she was just kind of getting what she wanted. I'm not going to let her walk all over me or try to dictate what I should and shouldn't do. Now, as Acacia said during her two-camera confessional interview, she felt Suzie was using the opportunity to put her down. She says, when I get pissed about something, I get really fired up and I get just so I get very feisty. If there's one thing I love to do is hold a grudge. After that, I was just so bitter and also let that kind of hold me back. Yeah, because that's what people need to understand, that if you allow people to get up under your skin and then you take the bait and you go in, because I know how I get when people piss me off. This is why I always say, like, I'm like the Incredible Hulk. The secret to how I keep things at bay, I'm always angry. Y'all just always getting this good side of me because I keep that beast, I keep him on a leash. But once he's let off, oh, y'all bitches better run, because once I see red, I black out and I'm done. And then after I come to, people like, there's like a whole, Thanos snap. There was an atomic bomb that went off. I left a lot of damage in his wake. Then I do feel bad, but I just don't apologize because I'm like, look, it is what it is. Next time, leave me alone. Then you ain't got a five-fold the situation. So I could definitely understand why Acacia was doing what she was doing, but it was like, yeah, Suzie was getting on my damn nerves in that episode because I felt like the way she was coming at Acacia in a lot of situations because she didn't get the part that she wanted. And look, sis, at the end of the day, when you were playing the Elphaba-esque character, you did good enough in the performance, not enough where you should win. I'm glad Sam Starr won the challenge. She was the rightful winner because she was able to come out of her shell when they were trying to push her to come out of her shell in the show. But you were cute enough. We knew you could eat in the whole Broadway thing. And so I was glad that, you did well enough. But for you to try to bait and goat Acacia, I just thought it was a little messy. But it was like good shade, I guess. But Acacia was saying it wasn't. So the drag performer went on to reveal that Suzie has since apologized, as she did during Untucked, but confessed she still finds it hard to fully let go of their spat, saying, I do think she's sorry. We're good. We definitely friends and everything, but I will never forget. And I'm sure y'all will talk about this on the reunion, if there is a reunion, unless it's going to become the Bring Back My Girls with T.S. Madison. Because remember, season 16 didn't get a reunion either until they did it with T.S. Madison during DragCon. Now, despite being a staunch fan favorite with 2 wins under her belt, even pop icon Ariana Grande is a fan. Suzie Toot has been rubbing her competitors the wrong way with her assertion that she will do well in comedy and performance challenges. And while she didn't perform too well during the Snatch game, she did claw it back with her role as the Green Witch in the Rusical, placing high. So yes, and I will say, yeah, we was living for her when she played the witch. Acacia, I thought looks cute as Dorothy, but her performance was just not giving. And I know some people felt like, well, maybe she should have been given some more to do instead of her having that moment of just standing there and lip singing to a ballad. Like maybe there should have been something extra added to it. It's like, what would you add? Like, what did y'all want her to do? What Kenya Michaels was doing during Natural Woman? It's like, no, you sit there and you emote and you give that emotion. Y'all want her to do like freaking ballet moves and stuff to the song? Like, it doesn't fit the situation. So I don't know what. Well, I was gonna say I don't know what Acacia could. She could have emoted more. It just felt like she wasn't fully committing to playing that part. You wanted to play the part so bad, you fought so hard for it, but you didn't. You underperformed. You didn't deliver. So that's what it was. And I totally understand like when people get up under your skin and you allow things to get the best of you. But look. It's like forgive and forget, or don't forget, but don't let that consume you because you walk around with that negative energy. You end up with crow's feet. You're gonna end up looking old and bitter, and you don't want to have to rely on surgery and Botox and things just so that way you can get rid of them mean looking frown lines. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards of Acacia forgot talking about her situation between her and Suzie Toot during last week's episode of Drag Race? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Oh, cool. So Sailor Mermaid says Katy really displaying all the negative You know what? And it's funny enough, I've said stuff like that. Well, not with her, but in general, because my mother and I will have conversations and stuff, and she's not really much in the astrology thing, but I'll be going in with the astrology. And I said with my mother and sister, because they're both Capricorns, I was like, my mother displays all the nice part of Capricorn. My sister displays all the negative aspects of a Capricorn. That outshines her whole personality. My brother's the same damn way. I said, first of all, he's more of a damn Libra than a damn Virgo because I'm September 2nd, he's September 20th, but I'm like, you closer to the Libra side. So you're not really giving Virgo tease in a lot of situations, or you do, but you focus more on, your energy is more on the negative aspects of us. Yeah, we could be perfectionists, anally so, and we can definitely be evil and bitter. But my thing is, I don't hold grudges. I forgive, but I don't forget in a lot of situations. Or I just be like, I give you the quiet treatment. If I don't like you, I'm just like, okay, I'm not even engaging. I'm not giving you energy. You just don't exist to me. But you have other people that feel like they have to continue to poke the bear, poke the bear, poke the bear. And then when the bear swings back or attacks, then you want to play the damn victim. So I do agree with her, with the thing with her on that. But you know what? She getting hers. Ain't nobody buy that damn album, and nobody damn sure going to that tour. So this is probably where her karma's coming in. I like Acacia's country aesthetic, but it felt so boring. No disrespect to Acacia, but Sam does it better in the Southern pageantry. Well, she is a pageant girl, so it makes sense that Sam would do it better. But yeah, I'm not all that impressed with Acacia's country aesthetic. I was kind of bored when she did that song. I do like Suzie, but hated her character on Snatch. Well, look, everybody hated that character on Snatch Game. And I like Suzie. I could definitely see her making it all the way to the end. I just think that, you know what? There's a lot of girls on this show that is just so caught up in their own little delulu. That's what it is. It's clearly a bug going around that damn set. But you know what I like to say? If you don't believe that you're the shit, then who will? Anyway. All right, now speaking of drag, let's get into this story. So Rebecca Black, Miss Friday, that song. She talking about she want to go on Drag Race, and she even threw her hat in the ring. Now, y'all probably wonder who Rebecca Black is. I just told you. She came with this viral song back when she was 14. Now she's in her mid-20s, and she's putting out new music. She's kind of jumped on this whole hyperpop bandwagon. She dropped a 7-track EP called Salvation today. I listened to it actually before I came and did the show, because I was like, let me listen to the record just to hear the music. Some cute songs on it. I did feel, it's literally, I kid you not, the EP is literally 21 minutes long, so you can be done relatively quickly. And I didn't know she was a part of the LGBT community. Yeah, she a lesbian, so shout out to her. Or I don't know. They said she's queer, so I don't know if she's a lesbian or bisexual, but she likes getting her box eaten by someone of the same gender, so therefore she's a part of the situation. But I did listen to the EP. And I will say this, I was kind of, there's some cute songs on it, but I felt like it didn't start getting good until like towards the end, because when she had this song on her album, like Salvation's cute, Trust is cute, I do like Twist the Knife. That's another cute song. I'm like, oh, I need more songs like that. But yeah, she kind of dips into the hyper pop world, like, Charlie XCX and Shy Girl, so many other girls and gays and men that get into that whole genre of music. So Yeah, so now she said recently that she wants to do Drag Race. So before just anyone was going viral on social media, Rebecca Black broke the internet back in 2011 with her breakout single Friday, and the music industry was never the same. Yeah, they weren't, because a lot of people hated this. But she did say that Lady Gaga came to her defense. It was like anybody who says they hated that song is a damn lie. Like, I feel like they were over exaggerating. Now, over the years, the pop singer embraced her queer identity and finds herself at home among gay people at her shows, on set, in the clubs, or in any other aspect of her life, saying, "I'm such a lover of pop culture and pop music. My audiences are filled with queer because we're all listening to the same things. That's really comforting to me. The queer community has taught me so much about the person that I want to be." This is what she told Pride. Now the star's latest project, Salvation, is serving up everything we gays love: a danceable beat, sexy choreography, high fashion, and a strong message of growth, saying, "I'm appreciative to still have an opportunity to make art that I really stand by. I know I can trust my audience to understand that is the dream." And also, she releases all her stuff independently. So whether you like her or not or whatever, I do love the fact that we are in a time now that artists are releasing their stuff without labels coming in and doing all their other stuff, being like, you need to be this and you need to sound like this and you need to sing like this one. Like, and you know, I don't want to throw a dagger at her, but I still feel like Tate McRae is still trying to figure out who she is. I do feel like she's on the right track. She finally has a genre and a lane that works for her because she's a dancer with a cute little voice, but she needs better songwriters and producers, because there's something there, but she's not quite there yet. So she's got a lot of time to work on that. Hopefully after this record, Miss McRae can take a little time off and live life and taking some sun, get some dick, I don't know, and then just put all that in the music. So now they said that Black is ready to take her career to the next level, and she's hoping to reach as many of her fans as possible with her new music. In fact, the singer has approached World of Wonder to appear as a guest judge on a future season of RuPaul's Drag Race, saying, "Trust me, I have been knocking down that door. That'd be a huge dream. I've pitched it. I would be so down and I would turn a look. I have a couple wowies in my closet, so I'm waiting. I've never opened a can of soup, but I've heard there's actually soup in it." So they probably just took a soup can and literally turned it. But I think that comes from, Andy Warhol and that sort of thing. But you know what? I've always been saying that RuPaul's Drag Race needs to stop focusing so much on, oh yeah, we need to have an Ariana Grande type, or we need to have this one or that one on there, and really give other opportunities to independent queer artists as well. It was cute to have Adam Lambert on the show and so many others, but I would definitely love to see Rebecca Black, whether you like her music or not. We get more people like her, and even more other queer independent artists on there too. Look, remember Once Upon a Time, a couple of seasons ago, before RuPaul's Drag Race decided to graduate over to MTV, VH1, that sort of thing, they had a lot of queer artists. Remember back when they was on Logo? They had a couple of people that it was like, everybody had to fake they knew who they was, but for the most part, they had like a lot of queer guest judges or whatever that it was that appeared on the show as a judge, whatever the case was. So why not get back to that? Everything doesn't have to be some A-lister or something of that nature. So I'm with you, girl. Definitely check that out. I mean, I hope you make it on the show in season 18 when that happens, because I think All Stars 10 is pretty much done. So I don't think she's going to be on that one. She's not talking like she is. But hopefully we get to see you on season 18 of Drag Race when that comes out in 2026. And definitely, if you guys get a chance, check out Salvation if you haven't already. So I say all this to you. What do you guys think of this story? Would you like to see Rebecca Black or any other like queer indie artist appear on Drag Race? You could balance it out with the big celebrities, and then also get some artists who need that shine up in there. Kind of like we were talking about yesterday, where Sabrina Carpenter has unsigned artists going to be opening acts on her short and sweet reboot of a tour. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Oh, I was like, wait, I saw something else come up in there. I hope Rebecca Black gets her Trisha Paytas moment where she goes from a laughing stock to an established brand. Well, hopefully she does do that because it's like, yeah, she was laughed at because I didn't know that they said there was 2 songs that she had to choose from. One was Friday when she was a little girl. The other one was they said it was a little too grown for her, but her mother actually paid $4,000 for that song. Can you imagine how much it costs to put an album together if you're independent? You literally probably have this. I'm wondering if it's like, okay, let's say that okay that you could probably pay $4,000 for a track, and if I want to put out like a 14 album track, I probably have to pay like 50 to 60K to put an album together. Plus you got to think on top of that the marketing and everything else. But look, I know photographers and things of that nature that could really put a, do a shoot. I could do a shoot with and don't have to break the bank. It's just trying to create a record. It's so expensive when you don't have a machine behind you. But the good thing is you invest in yourself, you can recoup that money back because Rebecca was out here still, she was touring. The thing is, the hyperpop sounds so dated now, and I'm talking about the PC music and 100. Yeah, you're right. Brat felt like a breath of fresh air because it wasn't so hyperpop. Yeah, it was a mixture. It's sort of like it was hyperpop elements in it. It was rave music, even though I wanted a little more raver music, like the music I used to listen to growing up, like Underworld and Prodigy and Left Field. And it was like a lot of that sound. Like I wanted more of that raver music, but she probably don't know about the the 90s stuff. She was born in the 90s, so she don't know about the times when I was in the clubs in the late 90s when I was young and underage going to raves and all the other stuff. So it does feel like a lot dated. So it kind of makes me wonder it's going to get the same treatment as like Electro Clash when that was like a brief moment that was going on. And there's still, there was a lot of great talent that emerged out of that sound. Tate McRae's music reminds me of Ariana's Dangerous Woman era plus Timberland songs. Like Two Hands sound a lot like, that's what it is too. Like a lot of the songs sound like stuff we've heard before. It's got that Timberland, Nelly Furtado vibe. It's got a little bit of Britney in there. It's got a little Christina. So it's kind of like, it plays in that wheelhouse. I'm like, girl, you don't know nothing about that. That was my generation. Now y'all trying to come up here and take, and that generation, that sound is not even that old. It's like the 2010, the 2010s. It's not that old. It's like almost a decade ago. They had Lizzo from season 14. I didn't even hear Lizzo's new song. I saw that it was all over social media. I just didn't even bother click. I've never really been a Lizzo fan. I mean, I only listened to her because when I lived in LA at the time, they were playing a lot of Lizzo, but I never really got into her. Also, I said isn't finished filming according to spoilers on Reddit. We should resume filming in March for the final 4 episodes. That's so weird that they're doing it like that, but okay. That Tate McRae album needed a Max Martin song. Otherwise, that's why I said it was missing something. It felt rushed. It didn't feel inspired enough. It felt like it was derivative of what other people were doing. So that's why I feel like Tate McRae has fully figured out who she is. She found a way to market herself and make money, but are we authentic? Are we getting who she is authentically through the music? It's like, no, I'm not feeling that just yet. But I do agree with this. Max Martin is not cheap. They say he probably charges $3 million for a single song, and that would be her whole budget, even though he hasn't had a hit. True. That's why I'm really hoping, like I said before, the songs he did with Madonna, because remember they were working together at one point, that she brought those sessions into Stuart Price, and he's rejudging it because Stuart Price is good at that. Remember at one point, Kylie Minogue had to bring in Stuart Price to kind of help stitch together Aphrodite, and that's why that album is iconic, because she was having a little rough go at that record, and Stuart came in and worked his magic and made everything work. He didn't even come back for 1989. Well, didn't she be working those songs? He probably mad because she now had to pay him for the Taylor's version. It's like when she comes in and does all her other stuff, it's like he gets paid for the original album, not the Tay-Tay version. Which, that re-recording was started by my girl JoJo. Shout out to her. She got a new album out that y'all should be listening to. But anyway, if y'all haven't already, let's get to our final topic and let's talk about Pedro Pascal. Yes, my future Hollywood husband, who's still out here doing a good one for the community. And, you know, he's been out here going hard for the trans community, and he's had trolls in his, what is it, his Instagram and all other stuff, like posting a lot of stuff talking about, oh, well, because you speaking about the gays and the trans, well, the trans community, that I'm no longer a fan and all this other stuff. And he's been clapping back at people online. Yeah, Pedro got time. Even though he busy, he got time. So everyone's favorite zaddy, Pedro Pascal, is at it again, spending the past week showing his support for trans rights on social media and trolling snowflakes in the comment section. So Pascal, who has used his platform to take down anti-trans bigotry and has a trans sister named Lux, and she's an actress too. Her name is Lux Pascal, has responded to those opposed to trans rights. Now, in his post, in which he shared a photo of a sign that read, a world without trans people has never existed and never will, he commented underneath, calling attempts to strip the trans community of rights vile and pathetic. Now, this is also the post that we had posted on the show in the last episode when we talked about this, but there's more to the story. That's why I'm bringing it up again. Now, one person wrote, "You were my favorite actor. I'm unfollowing you. Bullshit." Pascal responded with an exaggerated, no, topped off with a nail-biting emoji. Another person said, "Man, you were one of my favorite actors until this." Somebody else wrote, to which Pedro responded, "That's too bad. Wait, no, I don't give a shit." Oh, I love a clapback queen. Now, in response to someone writing, that's going to be an unfollow, Pascal replied, "Later, Gator." He also responded to a comment that read, "Gay-ish," with kissing emojis and bid bigots bye, as they complain about his support for the trans community. Now, despite losing bigoted followers, Pascal's post has been flooded with messages from new supporters saying, "I heard about this post and started following you." One person commented. Another wrote, "I heard you lost some followers. Thought I'd slide right in." Well, child, don't get me started. I might slide in them DMs. Right in and take up some of that missing space. Trans rights are human rights. Now, Pedro Pascal's support for the trans community comes amid U.S. President and board-certified idiot Donald Trump attacking trans rights through numerous orders, including one that declares there are only two sexes. But it said genders. But here's the thing. This is what I've always said about stuff. If y'all don't stand on something, you'll fall for anything. I wish the Democrats, certain ones, had the cojones that Pedro has. And sometimes it's like when you feel wholeheartedly about something, you have to be like, screw the haters. I'm here for y'all. And yeah, you're going to lose people in the process, but you're going to gain people in other places. So that's why I'm not that mad about it, because I've always kind of had that feeling. And I guess because Pedro and I are both in our 40s. He's older, though. Well, he's about to be 50 this year, I believe. We've been around the world and we've seen things, we know things, and we've come to a place where it's just like, the older you get, the less you give a shit about what people think. So he's at a place where it's just like, you know what, I'm going to stand for my sister. I'm supporting my sister because she is trans. I know a lot of trans people. He works in the arts. So, you're always going to be surrounded by queer folks. And I stand up for queer rights because trans rights are human rights. His sister is a human being, and so many other trans people are humans at the end of the day. And I just don't understand why y'all getting so wrapped up and caught up in, because you speaking about trans people, so it's an unfollow. Okay. So what's your unfollow got to do about the price in tea in China? Because I'm sitting there like, you sitting up here being all mad. Okay, so your little post got you like 2 seconds of fame and some attention from a popular A-list actor. But you still gonna be, bitter and mad, and your post is gonna be long forgotten. While Pedro is on to the next thing, which would be, The Last of Us season 2, which is coming. And some other movie that I forgot he has coming out. I think it's like a horror film that he did. I forget the name of it. And then he has Fantastic Four. So he's busy. So I love people come out here and clap back and stuff. Because, apparently, like I said, Pedro got time. And what you're not going to do is shade his sister. And he's going to sit there and put up with it. So shout out to him. And shout out to all the people that have the balls to come out and speak for those who, be a voice for the voiceless. So I said all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to Pedro Pascal got time? He went on his social media, was clapping back at the haters. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Excuse me. We don't be fighting. And so, yeah, I saw people saying they're not fans anymore. And he's like, bye, Felicia. As they once said, oh, thank you for the super sticker. Yes, he can. And you know what? There was one, I can't remember the name of it, but I was watching this show because I wound up going down this Captain America Brave New World timeline because I was watching a lot of interviews between Danny Ramirez and Anthony Mackie. Because I love me some Danny Ramirez. I'm like, oh, he is so cute. So I've been watching a lot of these interviews and stuff with him. So between the both of them, they did some recent show where they were trying out food. I think it was like UK from the UK. They were trying out different snacks and stuff. And Pedro Pascal actually did one with Jon Favreau, and they were trying out like different Chilean foods and snacks and things of that nature, like a breakfast. He was talking about pauta and all the other stuff, and he was literally trying to tell him, he said pauta is a breakfast, like something you eat for breakfast or whatever. They were trying to give him the full name. I was like, look, he is from Chile, so he's gonna tell you like the shortcut of what they call. They ain't gonna say the whole damn thing. So I'm sitting there watching him, and they're trying the food, and he's being silly, and it was just like seeing that side of them. That made me like him even more. And then the fact that you seen Jon Favreau just going at it, just eating like nobody was there. So I like stuff like that. Sidebar that. And then he also do hot ones. And they did hot ones. It was a good hot ones too. First of all, you got to watch the one with Anthony Mackie and Danny Ramirez. Danny Ramirez sitting there, snot coming out of his nose. He's crying. He's tearing up. He's cursing because he got to keep eating the chicken. And then because, Anthony Mackie's from New Orleans, so he's trying to show you how to properly eat half the chicken where it's it's not going to really burn you, whatever the case is. So watching Danny Ramirez do that was a cackle, but also Demi Moore's hot ones, that was a good one. And the fact that she loves hot food and she didn't cry once, I don't even think she drank the milk. So I was just like, okay. So watch a show like that. That's a lot of fun. I like that one better than when they be doing the one where they try to have them sit and play with the puppies. I said, I see a little stunt y'all doing, but watching somebody have the, eating hot food, because I can't do that. My body doesn't really take the hot food anymore. Diddy, MTV, and Bad Boys sued about former making the band singer Sarah Evans. Well, look, we had talked about that before with Sarah, and then people was up in there trying to say that she was one of the members of what was it, Chopper, was trying to say that she was out here getting her back blown out by Diddy, but that's his word against hers because she was in that documentary. So, I guess I will look into that story and I'll bring it up on Monday. And the words exactly. See, look, that's become a staple on the show, right? Why you mad though? Why you mad though? Because I'll be using that phrase on here. Yeah, that episode of Hot Ones, that was a good one. I like stuff like that. Normally, I don't be getting to sit and really watch those. It takes me a while to get to it because I be watching other stuff. But I finally got around. I don't know. I just went down this rabbit hole, and all of a sudden, because I was working on the show one day, I was like, "Let me sit here and finally watch this damn video." And I watched it. I enjoyed Demi Moore's one. Look, I'm rooting for her to win the Oscar on Sunday. So yeah, we'll be here to definitely talk about that amongst other topics when we get around to it. But in the meantime, I want to thank everybody who has tuned in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, Cleveland, thank you for that super sticker. So yeah, I'll be back on Monday. I'm going to be busy this weekend. You already know, March Madness is about to be insane. So I'm going to try to put out as much episodes as I possibly can. But yeah, and try to balance it with the, entertainment stuff and entertainment stuff here. So yeah, if you have not already, please hit that like button. And also, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe because it definitely helps with the algorithm. I'm going to definitely take y'all stuff into consideration. Maybe I'll start using my logo as the picture from now on, and the little photos that I'm going to use, it'll be for the little shorter videos. So I'm going to start getting into that because, yeah, I'm definitely trying to push out the algorithms and all this stuff. So thank you a lot for y'all little trickeries and saying, this is what you should try out, and we'll see how that goes. Because I definitely should be pushing out this logo. I don't know if y'all could barely see it, but it's up in in the right-hand corner. Wait, I'm pointing the arrow like y'all can see that. But it's like, it's up in the right-hand corner. But yeah, I should probably use that as my branding situation. So yeah, love you all for watching. Definitely hit that like button and that subscribe, and also smash the notification bell. Thank you all for tuning in. And until next time, ciao, darlings. Because, you know, in about an hour, Drag Race is coming on. Let me stop.